20 minutes, because some of the facilities don't have staff there to get them hooked up on the Zoom.
Yeah.
And then Logan, because I know you've got court all day, and I know he wants to talk to you. Can you send me dates for like next Tuesday or
next week's
bad? I'm out of town. I mean, I could work it.
Can the Courtney girls not do it at 5?
I'll ask. I'll call. They're pretty good about answering there, so I'll call. So 5 would be better for you today for them, correct?
Yeah, because Logan, I mean, that's all, of course, assuming that I can get the 3 o'clock adversary. Dwayne Rogers.
Yes, ma'am.
You know anything about the 3 o'clock new case?
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to take that one. It's I've conferred with the parties and everybody's agreed TMC, so I think that will be short.
Okay. Well, then I could do you're at 3. I could do Logan at 3.
Amanda, do you think you could check with Pegasus and see if we can get him on at 3:30?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you want me to see about doing 4 for the girls, Judge?
I got 2 here at 4. I got 2 here
okay.
at 4 and at 4:30.
So leave that at 5 if they can do it.
Sorry, I've sent you a chat.
Do 4:45.
All right, hold on.
Or Dora, you can do it at 4:30. It's just a quick. It's going to be super quick. It's basically
one of them just needs to really visit about a specific. Denise, can you do 4:30?
Yeah, I can do 4:30 because I'll just stay where I am.
Okay.
3:30 and 4:30.
I'm going to be late, but I'll be there as soon as
Can we do like 4 for Logan?
No.
No,
Okay.
she's got 4.
I'll go out to my car then whenever we do that then.
I got 2 hearings at 4 and another one at 4:30, and I'm backed up till before then.
Yes, ma'am.
So Logan at 3:30 and then the girls at 5.
No, you can do them at like 4. You can do them at 4:30, and I'll just log on as soon as I get done.
Okay. And I'll get new links sent out, ladies, and to the facilities once you confirm with me, Amanda. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank y'all. Thanks, Judge. See you at 1:30.
See you at 1:30.
It'll be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help you God. Okay. Miss Emily's living with Miss Donna and doing well, and she's in trial independence and rocking along. So everything looks good. So, Mr. Rogers, what do you need today?
Well, Your Honor, yeah, it's a good summary. I mean, she's doing well. She's expected to graduate in the fall, working on getting her driver's license. And as usual, that's been a little difficult, but I think it's coming around. We can maybe hear from some of the folks on the progress on that. And I think, everybody's just sort of waiting. I think as of the reports, at least, Emily had not decided whether or not to continue in services. Then her birthday is October 20th. So I guess that decision, if we get an update on that as well. So let's see.
You don't have anybody from the department yet.
I was going to say, and I was looking for my department person, and I don't see anyone. Well, how about can we have Casa pinch hit for us?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes.
Miss Gilson. So could you update us on those 2 issues we just described, namely trying to get the driver's license and what Emily has chosen, if you know?
Okay, I can try. It was a little difficult for the person who's handling this, the volunteer, to get information. The problem with the driver's license is since the name changed, she had to get her social security changed, all that. So that's all in progress. We can ask the grandmother if but at the time of the report, she was expecting to get those documents soon. So but other than that, she's supposed to be prepared to be able to get her driver's license.
Okay.
As far as staying in, I don't think she has not indicated to us whether she does want to stay in.
Oh, okay. We're getting thumbs up.
I have a lot of information if y'all want me to talk.
Yeah, please. And I'm glad to hear that piece of information because that's I think that's a good decision. Anyway,
I'm excited. Thank y'all. Let me butt in, Julie. I'm sorry. I know you're an advocate. We finally connected her and Danya. Danya's schedule's funky, but they got it together. So I actually saw Em on the 22nd. She came by and picked up the order, Judge, where you had changed her name, and they needed that document to now go through. So that ball is rolling. She is working on her credits. She wants to stay in care until she finishes school. And so she's trying to recoup those 7 credits. She's having a little bit of trouble with one of her tutors or teachers. So we're talking about strategies to help get along with them and get her work accomplished and stay on track. So she needs an art. I think Donia was setting that up at the beginning of the school year. So hopefully you'll get that out to us, Donia, and let us know when to show up for that. And she has the same boyfriend she's had all along, and a cute little dog came by the office with her and Donia the other day. So that's all good news. So she does want to stay in care past her birthday, primarily to get through school and get some anchor on what's going to happen next.
Right.
What grade is she in?
She's a senior judge equivalent. She's got 7 credits to go to get her GED. She's in Toby's program at Crossroads. Not GED, but it's a certificate. They get a diploma.
Yeah.
Donia, if I missed anything, if you don't mind, Judge, I'll let her speak up. Donia, is there anything else that you wanted to tell the court today? You have to unmute, babe.
No, everything is good. I got the paperwork. My question is, I know her name's changed, and to do her social security card, because she was adopted and she had the adoption birth certificate. So her name's going back to Williams. What about her birth certificate? I mean, I got the the documents that we picked up from you the other day. We can do the social security card, but aren't they going to ask about the birth certificate?
I don't know the answer to that, but we can figure it out.
Unless I can get someone to help us,
Yeah.
like
Probably-
us or somebody.
Probably need to get the some type of specialist with the department to help with that.
Mhm.
Okay.
And of course, the department's not here today. So let's put that in the order. CPS case, I was put caseworker.
Your Honor, is this case in adoptions?
Yep.
Okay.
Actually, it's over in kinship.
Well,
I mean, not kinship. It's it's the PAL program.
Wow, yeah.
But
Raphael,
Duloc signed the court report.
I'm reaching out to them now, Judge, to ask them to join.
Okay, I'm gonna put CPS caseworker to help placement obtain all needed documents for what are we talking about for?
driver's
The
license.
social security, because we got to change our social security card to, but I know at the social security office is, they want birth certificates, and because when I tried to do it before,
Okay, I'm gonna say all needed documents for DL, social security, et cetera, all adult type documents. Because let's just do everything now. Might as well do a passport. I mean, you never know. When you got help, this is just load everybody up. Okay, Emily is in trial independence now, and trial independence ends in a year, and her birthday is October 2nd.
I think it ends now, the next month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
So, but she's still gonna be in school, right?
Mhm.
So we need to work on, I don't know I've never had that happen before. Because usually they're either in trial independence or they're in extended care.
I know we're doing the 18 to 21.
So she's in extended care then.
Some days, I don't know. I just know I want to keep till she graduates high school, and once she graduates high school and she's working, because we need that social security card for her to get a job and a driver's license, and then possible if she ever wants to get her own place, where she can still have everybody to back up on, to fall back to help.
The court report says young adult is not in extended foster care. But let's see, Emily will
She
be
has the
offered
right
support.
to rejoin, so to speak, as long as she does so before her birthday, I think.
Emily will be offered support from her PAL worker through her 19th birthday.
Look at the next sentence there, Judge, though. Additionally, she'll have the opportunity to come back into care before her 19th birthday while in
Right.
the period.
Right.
So I think that's what we're trying to exercise.
Well, she'll need to do that. So the PAL worker, she'll need to talk to her. I'll make that in there. Okay, CPS caseworker to help. And I want that done within 2 weeks. PAL worker to contact placement and Emily also within 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks about extended care. How's that?
Thank you.
Okay, so those are our orders. Let me see. Her birthday's October 2nd.
10,
Second,
10.
my sheet says the 20th. and
Or
that might be a
20th, yeah.
typo.
I was
Yeah,
reading. I had-
10, 20.
So let's do this. Let's come back 11:13 and see where we're at, okay?
That's good, Judge.
Because our other court date is 10/9, so that's too early. Okay, so Pal's supposed to contact y'all within 2 weeks, and the caseworker supposed to contact y'all within 2 weeks. Okay, that extended care stuff, don't get me to line on that. It is complicated. And how they expect our young adults and caregivers, and I mean, I can't even keep up with it. I don't know how they can keep up with it, And anyway, I think those people that's what they do all day long, and they should know it way better than any of us. So I'm just going to leave it up to them to get with y'all and make a plan.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Judge.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. I'm glad she's at school doing her deal with Toby. That's wonderful for everybody. And I'm sure she's a really great addition there, and probably a calming addition over there too. That's a good thing over there. And so, okay, we'll tell her we said hi and best of luck with this stuff, and let Miss Lang or Miss Gilson know if that stuff doesn't come through, Miss Dawn.
Okay, I sure will.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to email when I get a break. I'm going to email the department and tell them they weren't here today. So I'm going to get on somebody anyway. Tell them it was important that important stuff they missed. So thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Judge.
See y'all. Oh, you got a break, Mr. Rogers.
I do. I do. You're right.
Yeah, what's going on upstairs?
Wow. Let's see. They picked the jury yesterday, took all day. They've gone through some of the initial CPS witnesses, and now they're doing a lot of the LEOs that were on scene. So
We know anybody on the jury?
I don't know. Surprisingly, I don't think I personally know anyone, which is very unusual in a small place like this. But
we're on YouTube, people, just so you remember.
oh, yeah, okay, good
We're
point.
just talking cut. We're not talking anything that they wouldn't know.
I know, I'm just careful.
Yeah,
No,
no,
that's wise, Melissa. Thank you.
yeah. How long do they think it's going?
At least 2 weeks.
Really?
They're making contingency plans for 2.5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. 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 2.5, would that cut into our next court date?
Well, I was a little worried about that. Let's look. Theoretically, if a half means through Wednesday.
Well, and next week only being 4 days.
Mm-hmm. We'll keep you posted on that.
Okay. Okay, thanks. I mean, we can always Zoom, but so we're supposed to be in person, so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll see y'all at 10.
Okay.
Got Miss Gilmore. I thought there she is. Mr. Orton's here. Andrea Welch is here. Miss Lang. Is Miss Dowell here? No. Cotton Beeler. Okay, it's the second part. Mom needs to have negative testing. Willow is with her aunt and uncle and doing well. There's some discussion about the grandparents. Somebody named Shannon Daniels and Nora Martinez are in the waiting room. Do y'all know them?
Miss Daniels is the caregiver.
And I
If
think
you don't mind
Martinez
letting-
is on Wrangle Martinez later on.
Okay. Okay. So there, but Will's doing well. Unknown father is unknown father. I guess I need to appoint somebody for him. So, Mr. Rogers, what do you need today?
Well, that was the first issue on the table. As we get closer to, the end of the case, we had several candidates identified as fathers. They were all ruled out. So at this point, if we can't identify another candidate, then I think we need to appoint someone for the unknown father and begin the service by publication process.
Okay.
And then other than that, as you point out, the child is doing well. I know there was a little bit of an issue getting immunization information. Mom had not been communicating with CPS or CASA for quite some time, but in July of this year, she had sort of indicated through her attorney she wanted to re-engage with services, but I'm not sure that's actually happened. Ms. Gilmore, can you update us on that? Has she participated in any services, or again indicated a desire to engage, or where are we on that?
So she did try to re-engage for a little bit. She drug tested once. She hasn't drug tested since. She was obviously positive for methamphetamines. But I was supposed to meet with her last Friday. Well, I was supposed to meet with her early last week, and she rescheduled So we decided to do Friday, and then I went to the park where we were supposed to meet, and she did not show up. I have not heard from her. I don't know where she is. She had mentioned to me that she was kicked out of the residence that she was living in. So I don't know where she's at anymore, because I was sending her resources for getting a hotel or something like that. For a week or whatever that she could get, but I don't think she was able to do that. So I don't know where she's at this time.
Okay. And we already kind of discussed about the unknown father. Have you gotten any indication of any other possible father candidates?
No, I haven't. I have never even met her or talked to her since I've been on the case. So that was my plan to do on Friday, to discuss that with her. However, due to her not showing up, I was unable to have that communication with her.
Yeah. So other than appointing someone to represent the unknown father, is there anything the department needs from the court today in this case?
I was requesting, I suppose, to see if we could go to mediation and come to an agreement to, kind of get this going, because Miss Smith has not been doing anything in the case. So I feel like we're getting pretty far into the case for that to be appropriate.
Okay, very good. Anything else?
That is it on my end.
All right. I don't have anything else, Your Honor. We would request, I guess, to talk about mediation and appoint someone to represent the unknown.
I don't think I've seen the mother maybe once. I don't want to go to mediation. I think mediation is a waste of our money.
Okay.
I mean, who knows if she's going to show up,
Well, that's true. I do know that there's, I think that the family gets along okay with mom. If mom can be contacted and could agree to something, maybe we could attempt an agreed order outside of mediation if the parties can reach an agreement.
Yeah, I think that would probably be your best bet.
We'll
But
work
at this point in time, she hadn't done anything. Termination is definitely on the table. So, I would be real leery on giving any type of visitation when we haven't done any UAs or, anything like that.
Agreed.
So, Miss Lang, what do you need? A client?
I need Brooklyn's magic phone number to how she's been getting a hold of her. So we're trying to connect there. I've been reaching her through her paramour, Chris. So just for the record, Judge, so the court knows I have been attempting to contact her in July. We did have a communication back and forth on text on the 18th, the 25th, the 27th, and the 31st. And then again in August on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 7th. And then it's been very quiet. I've been reaching out, provided information on the Zoom link for today and the time for the hearing on the 13th of August and on the 27th at both numbers that I'm aware of. I've also sent her messages on her email, and I have received a couple of responses that way, but not recently. And I did provide her information on Christian Farms Treehouse and Serenity House in Abilene, and encouraged her to go ahead and head off to rehab if she was inclined to do so. But I believe we could come up with an agreement at this stage, whether or not formally through mediation, but I think that would be a great thing for us to try to get done.
Okay. I'll let Miss Harris in the courtroom because I'm going to appoint her, Jennifer Harris, to represent the unknown father. So Miss Harris, I don't know if you can hear this, but you're appointed. There you are. I'm appointing you to represent the unknown father in this case. You can visit with Miss Lang and everybody else in a second. It's set for trial at November 2nd or something. So we've got to wait, or November 13th, and nobody's done anything. Okay, Mr. Orton, do y'all need anything else that wasn't in your report?
No, ma'am.
You're good with everything?
Yes.
You think we can work this out without mediation?
I think that Will's in a great place right now, and I would love whatever happens for her to stay in that place.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, Attorney ad litem's not here. Anybody else like to add anything? Okay, well, I'm just going to say everything continue. Jennifer Harris appointed for unknown father. parties to work on an agreement, for settlement, and, let's see, final trials 11/13. Thank you.
Thank you,
And
Judge.
Ms. Lang, maybe just call me about that. We can kind of try to put together a structure that we can share with the.
Perfect. I'll do that. Thank you.
Thanks.
Dwayne.
Judge, when is the next court hearing again? I'm sorry.
13 is our final.
Thank you.
Okay, thank y'all. Bye. The testimony you're about to give be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. Okay. Mr. Wood here, I don't see him.
I think he is.
There he is.
Yes, sure.
Miss Auburn's here. Okay, the girls have been back home with mom. Moved to Burnett County, has a boyfriend, everybody's doing well. Girls are doing well. They're teenagers, so they do their teenage stuff. And I have that the department wants to close the case.
Yes, Your Honor. I mean, we look at this and we're very pleased with Ms. Martinez's progress. I guess the only outstanding loose threads, which maybe one of them can't be resolved, is that Mr. Rangel, of course, has not participated or been served. Our last information was he was in Mexico. Could attempt consular service, but I'm really not sure unless Ms. Martinez thinks otherwise that we might just be better off dismissing the case. He seems to be kind of out of the picture, hasn't participated in a long time, and I think locating him enough in Mexico to even attempt consular service would be very difficult, if not impossible. And I guess the only other issue is the status of her criminal proceeding, but that will kind of work its way through. And if, God forbid, something were to happen that would make it impossible for her to continue being the caregiver, we'd have to revisit at that time in the new case. But Ms. Osborne, do you have anything to add to that? Does that sound good? Any breaking information we need to know about?
Nope, all of that sounds great.
Very good.
Judge, I represent the mom. I think we would agree that a dismissal would be fine. The father hasn't been in the case, I mean, for years and years. They don't have any contact with him. It's not a case where I would worry about him coming and picking up the kids or anything like that. He's not going to pay child support. So I think a dismissal would be appropriate. And as far as her criminal case, she is told by her attorney it's going to be dismissed. It's just going to take time.
Okay, great.
Well, and the girls being 12 and 16, if he wanted to be around, he'd been around a long time by now. And at this point in time, they're just going to tell him, peace out, get away from me, leave me alone. Who are you? I don't even know who you are, So yeah, yes. Yeah. And if he wants to come back in and go pay back child support and blah, 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 then Merry Christmas. Have a big time, guy. So yeah, no. Okay, good. Mr. Wood, sorry, but that's okay. Your guy can always come back. So, Casa, what do y'all think?
We're in agreement. My advocate's not here right now, but he's definitely in agreement to close. Everything's going really well.
Okay. Ms. Harris, what's Ms. Potts say?
You're muted.
Ms. Potts is good with it. She says that Emily aged out and she's doing fine, doesn't need anything. She's going to wait another semester before she goes to college. She's been provided the PAL report by both the department and Ms. Potts and says she has no questions. The two younger girls are happy to be home, doing well, no issues. She would like for Zoe to have therapy, but her therapist moved, so she's no longer getting that. And the final's 10-9, so keeping it open wouldn't have done anything really anyway. And the same thing with the criminal case. It's probably going to take a while, so keeping this open a couple more months isn't going to do anything. So she's good with it.
Okay, good. Okay, well, yay. Well, that's good news. Ms. Martinez, good luck to you and your other pending matters. And, I have to say, this was very quick. I know it probably seems like a long time to you, but in our world, it was not that long. So we wish you and your girls and your family the best and keep up the good work.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, well, everybody's released from further representation. We're going to close the case. Thank you. Good.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Oh,
Judge.
Happy day.
yes.
Okay.
Judge, I asked the facility settlement home to have my client appear if y'all see them in the waiting room.
Nobody's in the waiting room. Nobody, no waiting room.
Is Patty White signed in?
Nobody, nada. Whoever's on the screen, you got. Nothing but the truth, so help you God. Okay, let's see. Miss Mom's not here. Miss Harris is here. Mr. Jones is here. I think somebody's filling in.
I am Judge.
Lang's filling in for her. Cost is here. Miss McClure's here. I don't see Casey. I settlement home, Miss McClure.
All right, I tried.
Okay, yeah. Well, maybe they think 9:30 or 10, whatever time we are. 10:30 is
10:20. Be
okay.
on at 10:20.
You go, girl. Well, they're not on it unless it's mom. No, everybody's on the next case. Okay, permanency hearing. Casey is at settlement home. There's some issues. You're not supposed to be drinking alcohol or using drugs for dependency of this case. There's some alcohol issues. We need to get the grandparents involved in some therapy. I don't think that Casey wants to go anywhere. I think she kind of likes settlement home, which is good. I like it too. So, Mr. Rogers, you may begin.
Thanks. Let me call Brooklyn Gilmore and just ask her a couple of questions about those various topics. I think that'd be the fastest way to get through it.
Okay.
So, Ms. Gilmore, the report referenced some behavioral issues in the facility for Casey. That didn't sound super serious, but can you just quickly run those down?
Yes. So there was issues pretty quickly as she was placed. I believe maybe a week or two after. It had to do with an incident with boundaries at first, and then it had become homicidal, I guess, towards somebody, homicidal comments towards somebody. I believe it was a staff member and maybe a child. Don't quote me on that, but that had made her, it caused her to have to go to a different cottage where she was, they call it something stabilizing, I suppose. And I believe she was there for about a week. And then there's been incidents where she will use, you know, I guess manipulation towards the staff, stating that she sees her ex-boyfriend that had passed away, telling her not to do things, to get her out of doing things, I suppose. And then there was a recent incident that had to do with her not going to school because of her wanting a large cup of orange juice, but they only would let her have a small cup of orange juice. So it became like this huge deal. That was the last incident I saw. However, Mary Ann Davison is back on this case. So if there was any more incidents in the last week, those would probably have went to her. But those are kind of the incidents that are happening right now.
Right. And I guess if that's kind of in the bad news category, the school progress, though, is that more in the good news category? How's she doing in school there?
I have not heard, because she had, when she started going back, it was Miss Davison went back on the case. So I don't know if she's on today, but she would have more information in regards. I bet you Miss White might have more information on that. She stays in pretty good contact with him.
And Casey, as the judge mentioned, had indicated a preference to remain in settlement home. Is that kind of, she likes it there? I mean, how she?
Yeah, she's doing really well. I mean, I say really well. I like the placement for her there. The way that it's set up is in her cottage. She has the therapist there is also the manager of the cottage. And she's there, like her office is in the cottage. So if she like has a crisis or something like that, she's able to like have therapy as needed, which I think is really helpful. I think it's a good placement for her, and she needs to remain there.
Okay, let's switch over to Mom very briefly. Have we had any contact with her?
No, I email Ms. Harris every month asking if anything has changed, and nothing has changed in regards of her wanting to be involved.
Okay. And then finally, Mr. Jones, the report indicated that he was soon to be successfully discharged from individual therapy. Did that actually occur? Will it occur?
So he was actually supposed to get discharged today, but because of the conflict with the court, he goes in person, and court's at the same time as his therapy. So it will be next week, I believe, will be, unless it's changed between the last time I talked to him, which was Friday. will be when he is discharged successfully from therapy.
Okay. And now I think we knew this even either last court or soon after, but Mr. Jones has now got his own residence, correct?
Yes, he does. He's been in there, I believe shortly after our last court hearing.
Yeah.
So he's been there for a little while.
Okay. And he's living with his girlfriend?
Yes.
Is she willing to work a service plan or do you know?
She, as far as I know, since I've been on the case, she has not done services.
Okay. And then the report also mentioned the alcohol testing for Mr. Jones.
Yes. So I had him
What's the
do
results on those?
I had him do a random alcohol test on, I can give you the date, on 6/5, so June 5th, and it was positive for ETG, obviously. But when I discussed it with him, you know, he states that he's an adult and he should be able to drink.
Okay.
That's kind of all I have on that.
Did you advise him that the court's order or that during the pendency of the CPS case, you're actually not allowed to?
Yes, I did.
What was his response, if any?
That was when he told me that he's of age to drink.
Okay. And then there were also some mentions in the report, and this might be more questions from Ms. White, but about like some limitations on visitation at his residence and wanting to meet at the workplace of the girlfriend. Can you detail that?
Yeah, that's a question for me. He will not meet with me. He tells me that he does not want to meet with me where there's not either security cameras, I suppose, or a witness. That's what he tells me.
All right. So kind of fair to say a little bit of a mixed bag on the report?
Yes.
Okay. What, if anything, does the department need from the court today?
Just for Casey to remain in the settlement home, I think is most important right now. Eventually I would like for family therapy to start, but if Casey right now is not willing to do that.
Would that family therapy include the grandparents and dad, or how are you envisioning that? Okay.
Well, I think it would have been important for that when they were all living together.
Mm-hmm.
I think it still would be important since they're very involved.
Right. Because, I mean, at this point, now that Mr. Jones has moved out, in theory, the grandparents could serve as a placement, correct?
Right.
But
yes.
Although Casey has indicated that wouldn't be her preference, I believe, per the report.
Yes.
Okay. Well, something to think about in the future then. That's all I have. I'll pass the witness.
Anybody else have any questions, Ms. Gilmore?
Just real quickly, Judge, if you don't mind. So, Brooklyn, I'm sitting in for Sonia on behalf of Mr. Jones. I just want to double check, but Mr. Jones did meet with you though, ultimately, right?
Yes, Mr. Jones meets with me monthly.
Okay. And anything else on his service plan? It sounds like he's about to be discharged, or we'll find out from him in a minute about the individual therapy. And then was he on a drug scheme? Was he supposed to be calling in for routine drug and alcohol testing?
No, I just sent him for a random one.
Okay. All righty.
And no, he does not have any more services to answer that part of the question. Okay. It's just the therapy.
I pass the witness, Your Honor.
Okay. Anybody else?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Gilmore, how can you be successfully discharged from therapy if you're still drinking and violating the court orders?
That's a good question, Judge.
Okay. Just didn't really understand that, but okay. Ms. Gilmore, do you think maybe just saying family therapy to begin for the child's therapist and is agreed by the items? What do you think about that?
I think that would be good.
Okay. I mean, I hate to rule it all out because, I mean, I would like for Casey to get out of settlement home eventually and go home or go to her grandparents.
Yes.
So, I mean, she's 15. We got 3 more years, at least. I mean, they have a great transition facility and, all that. I mean, it's my favorite place, but, I think, I'm trying to think that this situation is salvageable. So, okay, well, I'll make that a court order. Anybody else have anything, Ms. Gilmore?
No, Judge.
Next witness, Mr. Rogers.
Let me call Patty White.
Okay.
Good morning, Miss White. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. Thank you.
Do you have anything to add regarding the sort of the communications with Mr. Jones Let me ask you that first. Like his meeting limitations or communications with him?
No, honestly, I haven't reached out to him in a month. Just since it's just been a little nervous for me to do that.
We understand the history on that. And then the other question is regarding Casey. Just can you update us on progress in school and what she says about settlement home?
She, it depends on which day you ask her. She changes her mind a lot, but most consistently, she likes it there. She has said to me she would like to go into their after program, once she ages out. The name of that has escaped me. And as far as school, I have not heard back. I've asked, but I haven't heard back since the day that she wouldn't go because of the fiasco. The way I understand that fiasco was she woke up in a bad mood and then she threatened to rip somebody's face off and then wouldn't go to school. And then the fight about the orange juice happened. And then she was put into where they call it stabilized, just another cottage, but that was just for the day. I know she likes school. So my plan is in the next week or so is to go when I meet with her again to ask her about it in person. School has always been a good place for her.
Okay. Good.
She's smart. She's very smart.
And then there was some discussion about it earlier. So just to give us an update, I don't know. I know you've been kind of covering for Miss Davison while she's been on leave. Is she about to come off of leave? Do you think she's coming back, or do we have any update on that side of the equation?
Are you asking me that? I
Yes.
have no idea.
I don't know. Okay, no problem.
What Miss Gilmore said was the first I'd heard that Miss Davison is coming back.
Okay, I just didn't know, so I was curious. All right.
I do know that Casey has kept in contact with her during Miss Davison's leave, even.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Pass the witness.
Anybody else have any questions, Ms. White?
No, Your Honor.
No, Judge.
Ms. White, have you told Casey that some of these behaviors are just basically unacceptable?
Yes, I have.
I mean, somebody's going to be a parent and somebody's going to be in charge and somebody's going to have rules and regulations.
Yes.
Whether,
I have to be really careful with her because if you make her mad, she'll shut down or you'll get unwanted behaviors back. But I try to notice things like when she's not using foul language, I'll say, you're making progress. This is good. And but the other day, Miss Gilmore and I actually had a visit together and we took Casey out shopping, and she was saying she almost didn't get to go because she was in trouble for the way she responded to someone. And I said, well, and she said, it was my fault. I made the wrong I did the wrong thing. And I said, well, did you apologize? That would have been right. You made a mistake. You understand you made a mistake. Did you apologize for the mistake? Well, I'm not apologizing to anybody, so I do try to point her in the right direction. And Miss Davison's very good at that as well. We've seen some growth, small, but we have seen some growth in the way that she responds to people.
And, I'm just thinking about future, you can't have that kind of attitude in the workplace or out in the real world, you might just get pounded. I mean, you never know. So, okay. Well, I mean, especially over an orange juice,
It's a, what can I control,
Yeah.
I would also like to recommend, if it's possible, family therapy with the grandparents.
Yeah.
She is having quite a bit of contact with them, and I think that they need some tools to be able to have a more meaningful relationship.
I meant them, but I just wrote to include grandparents just so it's really clear. Yeah.
Yeah.
You said it's a control thing, but you know what? As long as you're 18, guess who's in control? I mean, even at your house, my house, you're under my roof, guess who's in control? But we're probably old school. So what can I say? Okay. Anybody else have anything for Miss White?
Come in.
Miss McClure, somebody named Melissa's in the waiting room.
It's not a name I've got. I've got
The next hearing, Judge, it's one of the placements.
Okay. Mr. Rogers, any more witnesses?
No, ma'am.
Okay, let's see, Miss Lane, y'all have any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Miss Wright, oh, you're filling in for her. Miss Harris, I'm sorry, do y'all have any witnesses? Besides no client?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Miss White, anything else you'd like to add?
No, thank you. I'm good.
Miss McClure?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to add, just for the record, that we are down, I believe, to one medication and maybe one as needed. So we're making progress there.
Okay, yay. That's very rare and very good news. So that's good. Miss McClure?
I got to visit with her yesterday, and she has a litany of complaints that I will be sharing with Brooklyn and Patty later today or tomorrow. She
about about the facility, about life in general, about
all of the above. So I'm going to be working through those. Some need to go to Brooklyn and Patty. Some just need to go to Brooklyn. Some just need to go to Patty. This child is so discontented. That is the only word I can come up with that encapsulates it. She can be really happy for a little while about something, and then she gets really upset about something. It's very hard. I loved it when Patty said it depends on what day, because there are times when everything's great at Settlement Home, and then apparently yesterday everything was terrible. So I don't know how much we can realistically depend on what she tells us at any given moment. I think it's kind of like a stock market chart. You know, things go up and down, but you look at the trajectory, and I think we're on a good trajectory in that she's got her meds way down. And if this is the behavior we have with this few meds, you know, we've got time to see how things level out. I'm hoping that we can start seeing the trajectory go up a little bit more. I do think that there are a couple of things she mentioned that I think have some validity, and I want to deal with those things. But I think most of her unhappiness is because her life is not the way she wants it. And it can't be the way she wants it right now. Patience is something that is very hard to have when you're 15.
Well, some of those complaints are because she's 15, as we know. And that's, 15-year-olds are always going to complain about something, I would imagine. And did you tell her that she's at one of our favorite places?
Yes, I did. And I've told her that from when I went to visit her in Houston the last time, whenever we were trying desperately to get her into Settlement Home. And Brooklyn, I don't know what Brooklyn did to make that happen. Whatever you did, girl, it was awesome. And so I'm very pleased with where she is. And I think if she can hang on long enough to start seeing some good results, I think we're going to be fine. I just wish we could help her with her discontentedness, but patience is going to be the key there.
Well, and that's just kind of a relearning also on, back history and all that stuff.
You can't relearn something you never learned. So I think it's going to be the first time she's learned it.
Right. Well, and she's close.
Yes.
Her dad, her grandparents, gotta have, do outings or y'all. So, okay. Well, I couldn't think of anywhere better she could be. So, yeah. Okay. So the orders are family therapy to begin per child's therapist, and it's agreed by CPS and items to include grandparents. That's what I got. Our next permanency hearing is 10-9. Mr. Jones, you do have a service plan. You have to comply, or your parental rights can be subject to termination. So basically, it sounds like we're just giving Casey some time and letting her work through her program and counseling and getting on the right track. So 10-9 seems really quick. Let me look at something real quick. Let me look at court dates. Let me change. I'm going to butt up to the very close on the dismissal date. So I'm going to change our next permanency hearing from 10-9 to 11-3. I'm going to move the trial back to 1/8/25, and our dismissal date is 1/11/25. I think we're going to need some more time at Settlement Home. At least we're going to need to get through this school semester And, I didn't want to come back in 6 weeks. I mean, that's unless y'all need a special hearing or something. Ms. McClure, are you okay with that?
Absolutely, Judge.
Okay, Casa.
The new dismissal date, I didn't hear again.
Excuse me? I didn't hear that.
The new dismissal date, I didn't hear again.
It's not new. It's the same one. Dismissal's 1/11.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So 11/13 is our next term, and 1/8 is our trial. Okay.
Your Honor, I would just ask everyone, because that last one will be close to our drop dead date, that please reconsider that my client really wants to sign a relinquishment. She thinks that her child is getting the best help she can, and for the safety of her other children, can't have her back in the home.
Okay. Yeah, y'all can talk about that and see where we're at. And we might be in a different situation, towards the end, closer at the end. So, okay. Well, thank y'all. I'll see y'all November 13th. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
Your Honor, this is my last case until this afternoon.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Mitchell. See you later.
Judge, my son said he's in the waiting room, but I don't see him on the screen with us. Here. Let me ask him what his name on your phone.
Okay. This is our first permanency hearing. Liz, let me read my notes. Lizzie doesn't want any visits. I wrote concerned about the caseworker, but I can't remember what that meant. Somebody talked about visits with the brother. The older brother, people live with dad. Lizzie's with family in Martin County, aunt and uncle. Somebody is not, in my opinion, they make Alex out to be the victim, not Lizzie. And there's a bunch of weird family dynamics that I think aren't right. So anyway, that's what I have, Mr. Wilson.
I think that's a good start, Judge. All that's true, but let me update you a little bit on a few things. We do have the results of the father's hair test, and that was negative. And so we're going to propose to put him on a monthly hair test random schedule. If you recall, Judge, sorry, I've had a tickle in my throat for days now. The father, because of physical issues and limitations, struggles with the UAs and the schedule for that. So we're fine doing hair tests. Drugs have not been a huge issue for him, I think. So a monthly hair test on a random different color would be fine with us.
A monthly hair test?
No, it would have.
Okay.
Judge, he is not very technologically savvy. He's Galaxy in the waiting room. And if you can let him in, is that great? If not, I can put him on my phone if you'll allow. He can.
There's a Samsung.
That's probably it, Judge. I'm so sorry. He usually comes to my office, but he's out working.
Okay. And Mrs. Sheen, nobody has a clue who that is, right? Circles. No clue. Okay.
Was there a Charity?
Charity Sims is the mother.
I let her in, but she said
Okay.
she's joining. So
I just don't see her.
Yeah, she's joining. That's her problem. Okay. Okay, keep going on, Mr. Wilson.
All right, some kind of monthly test, Judge, whatever we can do that's doable for him, but also gives the department what they need as well. Let's see. He's apparently stubbed his toe once or twice on protected parenting and has been started over, but so hopefully he's back working on that again. Let's see. The mother has not done anything for us, it looks like, so we really need her to start stepping up. The child is doing okay. She's, kind of found her spot over there in that family, it sounds like. She's in therapy now, Judge, with a therapist that she seems to like and is beginning to open up with. So we're pleased with that. As far as the brother Alex, the perpetrator, I talked to the DA's office this morning. That is signed, sealed, and delivered. He's pled to 2 counts of indecency with contact, and he's going to do 4 years in TDCJ. He'll have an order of no contact with the victim or anybody in her household for his lifetime, for his lifetime, with a lifetime protective order and all the sex registry requirements that go along with that as well. So that is over. So that's good news. There was a concern, or there's an ongoing, I'll say, concern. This goes back to the family dynamics you mentioned, Judge. The father was down to have an in-person visit with Lizzie in San Angelo, kind of like the brother did, the other brother. And, it's been 4 or 5 months since he's seen her. But when he heard, this is the story I'm told, when he heard that Lizzie wrote a letter to the DA's office that led to the DA's office requiring a more strict plea deal in which Alex was definitely going to do some time. The father got mad, canceled the visit. So we're still very concerned that he's taking a position of blaming Lizzie more than blaming Alex on all this so far. And that's going to be a bad situation for her to ever have to think about returning to. But aside from things like that, that's where we're at.
Well, I wrote down, I wonder about the protective order, how to contact with anybody in her household where's she gonna live? With her dad?
Right.
And, that's gonna be kind of weird. So,
Yep.
Yeah, but that goes to where I said, the child, the 12-year-old, I don't get it. Okay, thank you, Mr. Wilson. You have any witnesses, Mr. Wilson?
I do not, Judge. I certainly can call anybody you like, but the workers here, her supervisor's here, but I wasn't planning to call them.
Okay, well, somebody else can call them if they want to, so that'll work. Okay, Ms. Chris, are you filling in for Ms. Potts?
Yes, I am, Judge.
Okay, what's up?
Is the caseworker around?
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Bibb, she's here.
Can I ask her a few questions, Judge?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Ma'am, what are the services that the mother needs to complete?
At this time, Ms. Sims needs to complete the protective parenting group. And as of this morning, I got an update from Ms. Tina Nunley saying that Ms. Charity Sims has completed one protective parenting group and 2 individuals. So there's one. Also, she needs to be consistently drug testing. And then also she gave me this morning a release of information from Synacor. And then also she needs to continue her SOP and just provide me her information from that as well, so I can just see the results from that. And I don't have her psychological. I contacted the New Road Psychological, Dr. Ambrose, to see if there was any information that she could give me. And she stated that her admin was told that Ms. Sims was going to go somewhere else. So I'm going to look into that. I didn't see any other 2054s that we have sent out for a psychological. So I will ask again. And if we have to get her set up for another psychological, I can go ahead and do that. Oh, I can't hear you. Sorry.
My apologies. So other than the psychological, she has started everything?
She's not drug testing.
Okay. And are there transportation issues?
The first time that I met with Ms. Sims, there is transportation issues, yes, ma'am. And I told Ms. Sims if she has transportation issues to reach out to me, CASA, her attorney, and then also to reach out to the CART services, because that can be a good resource.
And has she reached out to any of you on that?
No, ma'am.
And is she on the weekly call-in schedule?
Yes, ma'am.
So if she calls in the morning, she'll have plenty of time to let you guys know about a ride?
Yes.
So psychological evaluation and drug testing. Other than that, she's gotten started?
Yes, and that was just as of this morning that I received the email from Tina. But whenever I talked to Charity yesterday, because I did a visit with her, she told me that she has started, but Tina confirmed that she has.
Okay. And Charity was able to show you that she'd been working diligently to try and get in touch with Ms. Nunley, correct?
Yes, I printed out and I saw all of the documentation, her phone calls and her emails. She sent that to me.
And what is the very most important thing that she needs to do right now?
I think right now, just providing a safe environment, and for Lizzie, I know I need providing a safe environment if we were to do family reunification. I really think that Charity needs to address a lot of, say, mental health concerns. When I was reading through the documents that Tina sent me, she was diagnosed with some disorders, and I really do believe that Charity needs to work on her mental health and then get that before she's able to have Lizzie in her home and have a safe environment.
And at this point, does the department believe that where she's living is going to eventually be a safe environment?
No, ma'am.
And she is not having visits at this time with Lizzie, correct?
No, ma'am. Lizzie is able to call at any time.
And has she done so?
As of what I'm aware of is that she hasn't called, she has called recently last week. She talked to her mother last week. So yes.
And why are visits not occurring?
It is at Lizzie's discretion and whenever she wants. I think right now moving forward, I'm okay with scheduling visits, but it has been, from my understanding from Lizzie, that she is having a hard time with her mom and what she was put into place and how her mom did not protect her. So that is why in-person visits have not occurred.
And so is somebody talking to Lizzie regularly about her position on visits?
Not so much visits. I mean, I have spoken to the therapist, and I wanted to talk about the family therapy going forward, but I mean, that's a discussion for a later time that we can, but if I can, do you want me to address it now?
When will family therapy occur?
So according to her therapist, her female therapist that she has, she says that I think what we do recently happened with her parents. She is feeling numb towards things at the moment. So I'm reading off the email that she sent me, explained to me. I think doing a bit more therapy on her own before moving forward with family therapy may be beneficial.
Okay. And you will continue to check in with the therapist on when she thinks it will be appropriate to start that?
Yes, ma'am. I told her that I do want to do it at Lizzie's discretion, and then at also the therapist's professional discretion as well.
Okay. And can you also speak to the therapist about making sure that somebody's checking in with Lizzie about visits with her mother and when she's ready for that?
Yes, ma'am, I will.
I'll pass the witness, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. Anybody else have any questions?
I do, Judge.
Okay, Ms. Lang.
So Kathleen, your attorney was talking about the strong concern the department has about the way that Mr. Butler responded whenever, after the court thing and he canceled the visit with Lizzie, right? But we had a permanency conference on August the 9th, correct? And you were there.
Yes, ma'am.
And we had an extensive conversation about that, didn't we?
Yes.
And during that conversation, we talked about, this is a very emotional time for this family. You agree?
Yes, it is very traumatic for Lizzie and everybody.
And, this family, the mom and the dad, have children that are on both sides of the legal argument, right?
Yes.
And the young man who just got sentenced to 4 years is a special needs child. You understand that, right?
Yes, I was made aware of that.
And during our conference, you actually agreed that it was a very stressful time. And, Mr. Butler responded with a lot of emotion at that time. You recognized that was because it was a hard time, right?
Yes.
And he never had to deal with something like that before, how to figure out how to respond to it or what to do, correct?
Yes.
And he chose, knowing that he was emotionally upset, that was probably not the best time for him to have a healthy and productive visit with Lizzie. Is that right?
Yes, whenever we spoke, I asked him if I said, I don't think it's safe at this time. And I said, we can go ahead and reschedule if the feelings are, a safe where I would put each of you in a unpredictable spot. And I just didn't.
And so let me keep on. So then what we did after that is we said, hey, why not let some therapy come in the middle of the room and help this family deal with their feelings and work through their emotion and start to communicate in a healthy way, right? That's what we decided, right? Okay, and that's where we're you just read the letter from the therapist, and that's the plan moving forward, correct? So it's not that Mr. Butler doesn't want to see his daughter, right?
I think at the time the emotions were really high, like we just,
My question is, are you under the impression that Mr. Butler doesn't want to have anything to do with his daughter?
No, I really do think that he does.
And are you aware that he had a telephone call with her in the past few days?
No.
Would it surprise you and it'd be interesting for you to follow up with her, and I would encourage you to do it, that his feedback or his response and understanding of the call was, I had a very good call with Lizzie yesterday. And this was what he told me on the 27th. So I'd encourage you to follow up with her to be able to give him feedback. Would you be able to do that, to say, hey, you may think it was a good call, Mr. Butler, but Lizzie didn't think it was a good call. Would you do that for him?
Okay. Yes, I will.
Additionally, during that permanency conference, we talked about him missing some of his protective parenting classes. You recall that?
Yes, ma'am.
And at that time, he said, his work schedule gets in the way, and if he missed 2, he got kicked back to the beginning. And you agreed at that time to find him a course that would offer him Monday or Tuesday sessions. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And have you had any luck getting that done?
Yeah, I sent a service authorization to Deb Tabor.
Okay.
So I'm going to follow up with her.
Okay. And where is he with his individual counseling?
I reached out to Miss Bailey, and I have not heard back. So whenever I do that, I will make sure that everyone is up to date.
Would it surprise you if he's under the impression that he has successfully completed it and he has no more appointments with her, according to his understanding?
Okay, I know that he really liked Miss Bailey and that he always talked very highly of her and really enjoyed his visits and that he thought they were really beneficial.
Okay. In your report, you also talked about part of his service plan was to expand his relationships and have a stronger network of friends. And in the report that was provided, now you didn't provide all the information that went into the judge's report this session, is that correct?
I did not, but I also helped I assisted Teresa on the report. I assisted her on the report with as much information that I could. That's why I'm here to fill in a lot of the gaps. But I do know that he has support with his sister, a social support with his sister. So I am aware of that as well. And he has spoken to me that he has that social network.
Okay, so he did respond to that requirement under the service plan. He's working on this.
Yes. Yes, he did.
And also y'all reported in your report to the court that you did not have a copy of the OSAR. Has that been remedied at this time?
Yes, I do have a copy of those, sir.
Okay. So according to the service plan and where we are today, what pieces are still missing from Mr. Butler for him to be in compliance with his service plan?
I would like as of right now, my worry is the protective parenting of finding him a different house to live. He is in too close of range to Charity and her boyfriend, and I just feel as if he were to find a different place to live, that it would benefit Lizzie, and that is my biggest concern, is putting her back into an environment where she is not being protected, and it would cause her more trauma.
So at the
That is.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I did not mean to cut you off, Becky, at all. And then also, I'll follow up again with I'll follow up with Deb Tabor so we can see if I can get him on Mondays and Tuesdays, because I know that Mondays are his days where he is the most available. And those are the days that I can figure out if she's able to, and I'll put it on the virtual therapy and see what she can do, if that is easiest. So yes, I think right now the protective parenting and the housing, and then also with the hair fall or the hair strand test, it would just be a once a month. Just a hair strand whenever he's called, and I'll send him his color. It would just be a once a month.
So let me, at the Permanency conference on August the 9th, the topic about the housing came up. And
Yes.
So Mr. Butler, did he share at that time that he's working on some finances to be able to relocate?
Yeah, so with his car.
And to get more money available each month to find something. And so did he have any hesitation about making an effort to quickly, as fast as he can, figure out another housing situation? Do you feel like he's not urgent about it?
No, he said if that was an issue, then he would, if the housing is an issue, he would look into it.
So during that conference, when we were all together, was there anything about Mr. Butler that showed that he is not willing to do anything possible to have reunification with his daughter to you?
No, ma'am, not at this time.
Okay. And I saw Teresa Donnell shaking her head about the hair strand. Would you be opposed to, if we thank you all for, first of all, acknowledging that he'd been paying on his own for the patch. He was negative consistently, and you've agreed to propose to the court to switch over to the hair strand ongoing. He just completed one that was negative, correct?
Yes, ma'am, on 8/20.
So would you be agreeable to say, and it actually caused save money for the department as well, a hair strand can be called randomly upon suspicion or concern, but definitely before any reunification occurs, like we do before a monitored return. Would you be agreeable to that?
Yes.
Okay, I pass the witness, Your Honor.
Anybody else have any questions, Ms. Phipps?
I do, Judge.
Okay.
Ms. Phipps, let me just ask you this, and we can probably all move on, but regarding concern about the dad's protectiveness and whether he's going to pick Alex or Lizzie in this situation, you've acknowledged that you understand how he was feeling. I believe you told us, correct?
Yes.
Now, does that mean that you have no concerns about his feelings about that? Or do you have concerns?
I do have concerns. I think that goes back to protectiveness. I understand at the time, whenever the visit was, the time of the canceled visit, there was a lot of emotions at that time. I think going forward, and that's why the visit was canceled. I do think going forward, I do have a concern of protectiveness, since it is also, and I've talked to Sean about this, of him having to maybe choose, or feeling like he has to choose between Alex and Lizzie, and keeping that, sorry, I'm trying to word it, away, trying to maybe not choose, but keeping them away from each other and not talk to each other is going to be hard, because from a parent standpoint, I want him to be protective over the victim, but at the same time, he does have a son, and I want to make sure that he's protective over the victim more than anything, and separates that. And that is my concern.
Sure. Well, and let's say he could keep them apart and he could keep Lizzie physically safe. Are you concerned about any impact on Lizzie if Sean still harbored blame for her for the whole situation?
Yes. Yes.
Now, let me be clear here. I don't think you've made up your mind about Sean on this case yet, have you?
No, I mean, I'll be honest. Sean has been working services. Sean has done more services, and he has been working them. I think my biggest concern right now is the protectiveness and the raising the red flag if he were to blame Lizzie if she was to go back in Sean's care. And that is probably my biggest concern. I do understand that he's been working services and that he has done a lot. And I'm happy for that. And I feel like he has grown and he has done a lot to complete his service plan. But the protectiveness is what I'm concerned about if he were to lash out and not protect Lizzie.
Okay. Pass witness, Judge.
Anybody else? Any questions, Phipps? Ms. Phipps, did you say you wanted, excuse me, Mr. Butler to do a monthly hair strand?
I said
Yes.
that, Judge, but I'll let her
Oh.
clarify what she wants.
Well, I don't think we should do a monthly hair strand because we don't need them monthly.
Okay.
I mean, it's gonna be a lot of overlapping and your hair didn't grow. Ms. Donnell, we'll go on and cut in here if this is what you're gonna talk about.
Thank you. Yes, hair strands are done every 90 days.
Right.
Because of what you were just saying, the overlapping, and allowing time for new growth. I'm not sure that Ms. Phipps is clear about the requirement of only having a hair strand every 90 days. We did discuss monthly testing in the PC. It was my understanding at that time that that testing would be a UA. However, with the ongoing concerns of Mr. Butler's physical limitations, the department is in agreement with doing a hair strand upon request, but it would not be monthly.
Okay. What about the mother? I have her written down. I mean, does she need to be drug tested like the father, just upon, what I'm kind of tempted to say, upon CPS and or ad litem request?
I would like, since Charity has not, oh, I'm sorry, did someone try to
Go on, Ms. Phipps.
Okay, sorry, I thought I heard someone try to talk. So I really, since Charity has not been testing, I would really like to keep her on a weekly color and still test. I mean, I don't know if anybody is opposed to do a initial hair strand test, and she has not been testing, but if we can just keep her on a weekly drug testing schedule, that is fine with me.
And Your Honor, since transportation is an issue, I would ask that maybe we do an initial hair strand test. If there are any issues, I understand that weekly ongoing when it would occur then, but we know that poverty and transportation are issues in this. I think requiring weekly drug tests when we know that is just setting her up for failure.
Okay. I got it.
Okay.
Anything else, Mr. I see who called Ms. Phipps. Let's see. Ms. Harris, you did. Anybody else have anything of Ms. Phipps?
No, Your Honor.
Any more witnesses, Ms. Harris?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Lang?
No witnesses, Judge, just clarifying on that protective order. I did talk to Sean, was the public defender. Sean Rogers represented Alex, and they put the language in there specifically about protecting Lizzie and any member of the household that she's with. Just know that when the young man is released from prison, he is special needs so mom and dad are going to have to figure out some way to communicate with him and give him money and keep him set up away from them. So that's just a reality we're dealing with. But prayerfully, good, successful family therapy, continued growth at Lizzie's pace, then everybody can feel more comfortable about Sean and his role as a dad for both of these kiddos. But the law will protect Lizzie for her lifetime, the way the order's written.
Okay. Well, I mean, protecting Lizzie is one thing, but who the parents allow to be around in the household, that's a different. We're not, I mean, he's in prison, so we're not gonna worry about that right now. Okay, Ms. Baker, anything else you need to add that wasn't in your report?
No, ma'am. No, Judge.
Okay.
I'm as well concerned about them keeping the son away from Lizzie. Just things that have been said between the brother and different things that I've heard. I'm concerned that they're going to have a hard time keeping him away.
Okay. Well, like I said, it won't be today or tomorrow, so we'll worry about that later. Ms. Willis, what do you need?
Well, I've been in another contested hearing. I don't know is there a change that I need to know?
Read you what the order says today. Family therapy to begin per child's therapist recommendation. Dad alcohol/drug test per CPS and or ad litems. Mom hair strand per CPS by 9/4/24. Then drug test per CPS and or ad litems. Next permanency hearing is 11/13, and the visits for Lizzie as requested by child CPS. And
Okay, so everything remains the same for right now, basically, except for the drug tests.
Basically.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't need anything right now.
Okay.
I will say that I have the same concerns that Casa has about the home that Dad's in, the new home. And so I'd like to go over there and take a look at it.
Okay. Well, y'all are granted access 24/7 anywhere you at Litem CPS Casa wants to go. So there you go.
Okay.
Big red flag.
Excuse me?
He's gonna be moving soon too, just so you know, so.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I just need to get them both at the same time.
Okay,
But-
parents, y'all have service plans. You have to comply or your parental rights can be subject to termination. I mean, I read the letters that Lizzie wrote and they were, I'm just gonna say, that were sent to the DA's office, and she's the victim. I mean, she's entitled to say what she wants to say. And to me, it really wasn't anything different than what we didn't already know, you know? So, and people speaking up for a child. I mean, that's kind of what all our jobs are. So there's no reason to criticize her or anything. I mean, it's a good way for her to vent, good for her therapy too. So, that's it. Okay, well, y'all, our next court date, like I said, is 11/13. So anybody need anything else before we close?
I don't believe so.
Okay, well, good luck, and everybody's working on their service plan, getting there, so that's good news.
Thank you,
Okay,
Judge.
thank you. Okay, bye.
Thank you, Judge.
Please raise your hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay, thank you. This is our second permanency hearing. I had the father not do anything. He's MIA. Didn't really write down very much about the mom. I think she's just sort of doing stuff. Our young lady wants to live with some neighbors, but she's doing good. So that's what I have. Mr. Sherman, you may begin, please.
Judge, I don't think we have anything additional besides what's in the report. I don't think that I picked up that mom was really doing much of anything. So we're just asking for status quo right now.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Kay, what do you need?
Nothing, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Miguel?
Just a client.
Okay, I have him as alleged. Ms. Shermer, do you have him as adjudicated or acknowledged or anything?
I have him as alleged.
Okay. Okay, Casa, Ms. Morrow, or Mr. Lee?
Yes, Your Honor. Thalia, she's doing good. She's started school, and when I talked to her on the 20th, she informed me that she wanted the neighbor's home to be her forever home. And I know I talked to Miss Osborne, reached out and said that they're trying to set up a visit with the family member that's in Michigan. And I know it's family, but she's never been around those people, and I don't think there's really any kids up there. So I don't know how Thalia is going to feel by being placed up there, but she's very adamant about being placed with the neighbors of the current placement. And that the neighbors, they're ready for her to come, but Ms. Osborne is setting up where the child can go do some overnight visits with that prospective placement, because it's only like 2 houses down the road. But like I said, every time I talk to her, she tells me that's where she want to be. And the whole case, I've never heard her say anything about mom or wanting to be with mom or anybody else, Your Honor.
How does she know these people? Just from hanging out at the foster, hanging out where she's at?
Yes, Your Honor. They're friends with the current placement where she's at, and she's been around them, and she goes to school with one of the kids that's in the home, and they have a very good relationship. I went by and visited the home, and I don't see any issues if she was placed in that home once the home study and all that stuff comes back, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lee. Ms. Mystic?
I don't have anything to request. I sent you a video. I don't know if you got it.
I got a picture.
No, it said not delivered. This was another one of our kiddos that hated water, and it's a video of her in the pool. I'll get it to you. It's real slow. But I mean, I think status quo and work on neighbors. Oh, I think it just sent.
It did. Okay. Looks pretty good.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, good, good. Y'all, our next hearing is our final trial. What about mediation? What do y'all think?
Sure. I mean, mom's been appearing and might be good for us to do a Zoom mediation and see where we can get.
Okay.
Joanne's raising her hand.
Miss San Miguel.
My only issue is that dad hasn't taken a DNA test, and I think it was ordered and requested back in January. And so I don't know what the holdup is. I reached out prior to court today, and it's my understanding the department hasn't heard anything back on it.
I'm sure you know where it goes. So, AG's office.
Yeah.
I'm checking to make sure I ordered that. Yes, I did. Okay. Okay, well, maybe we could keep our fingers crossed that we could get it done between now and 2 months, I mean, I ordered it on, let's see, 1/24.
Right. And usually it doesn't take, I mean, it takes a long time, but not, I mean, we're like 8 months in, and I've never seen it take this much.
Yeah.
Maybe 3, 4, maybe up to 6 a max, but I think we're beyond that. I think we need to request.
Okay. I'm gonna order the county attorney's office to look into the DNA testing. Who do y'all want to go to mediation with? Y'all know who Miss Wheeler, Miss Miller, Andrew Thompson, Miss Bennett. Who else is the mediator? I don't have my list. Let me see. Mr. Cummings, Kurt Fulk, Carl Prohl, Randy Robinson, Courtney Wheeler, Catherine McAnally, Fran Brockstein. It's on your right. Most of those are lawyers down this way. Emily's had the last couple, I believe. Actually, she hadn't had one since Mills on 5/8.
She's good.
Y'all want to do that?
Sure. I like her.
Miss Kay, you good?
I don't know her, but I don't have an objection.
Okay. Miss San Miguel, you know her, do you?
Yeah, she's good.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna order placement is approved by CPS and Atlantis. I'll get that home study back. Y'all can approve or not. Mediation with Emily Miller by 11/6/24, which is the trial date. County attorney to look into DNA testing. Excuse me, Miss Francis, you have a service plan. You have to comply or your print rights could be subject to termination. Also, when y'all go to mediation, there's an objection to me here in the final trial. So y'all need to talk about that because we'll need to get another judge or another court date or a waiver or something like that. Whatever. So mark that down on y'all's to-do list.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Well, good reports, good pictures, good videos. Everything's good. So Miss Francis, gotta work on your plan. So, okay. Thank y'all. Y'all are excused. Okay, I'm looking at the docket sheet about appearances. 7/13, no parents appeared. 8/23, no parents appeared. 11/15, no parents appeared. 2/27, mom in jail, her lawyer appeared. 5/15, no parent appeared, and 7/31, no parent appeared. So, Mr. Sturmer, I don't have an appearance by mom. Unless there was an answer filed or anything like that.
Right. I mean, she's in the Coryell County Jail, and I requested service at the Coryell County Jail like a year ago. For whatever reason, the citation.
Cameron.
Do what?
I thought she was in Cameron over there where y'all house them.
Well, she
No.
may be, but she's showing up on our jail roster.
Okay.
But anyways, the citation return, because, I saw that she was in jail whenever this happened, so I sent a citation over there to her. But the citation return in the court's file that I just checked today is just a blank return. Like, I don't know if the sheriff department just said, oh, yeah, not worried about it, or if maybe the clerk's office scanned in the wrong thing. And so I was going to call the clerk's office to check on all that. But kind of sounds like we just need to reset for today.
Okay,
And Your Honor, if it's helpful, I tried calling over there today to get a hold of Miss Rugen, and my paralegal's trying to schedule me a meeting to get over there as well. So I think we're running into the kind of the same issues that Mr. Sternber is.
okay, well, I was gonna set it for next week, but I guess y'all are gonna need a little bit more time than that, Mr. Mintz, to get acquainted with her, et cetera.
Yes, ma'am. We'll do it as quickly as we can, and also help Mr. Sternber as well, and see if we can't get these folks in the hearing here.
The dad has, I think this is your first appearance in this case, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
The dad's already signed a voluntary affidavit of relinquishment, so maybe y'all could visit.
Yes, Your Honor, and I have some notes in my file here that indicate she might be willing to do same, so that is absolutely the avenue that we're going to pursue if I can get face-to-face with her.
Let's just reset this till October 2nd. That ought to give y'all a month. Service shouldn't quite take that long, but heck, it's taken 9 months already, so who knows?
I mean, literally walking across the street.
Yeah, but and literally filling in one line on when you executed it, but that'll give Mr. Mintz some time to go meet with her and y'all to talk, and maybe we can get an agreed judgment or something, before now and then. Agreed order. And we still got to, have court, but if we could get it before then, we could do it anytime. So, okay, Ed Lydams, do y'all need any orders today? He's so cute. Looks like he's blowing and going, doing well in his foster home.
He's speaking with a bit of a British accent too.
Why?
Just maybe he's watching British Netflix. I don't know.
That's strange. That's bizarre. Okay. Well, Miss Hyman, stay with me on. We do have Atlanta trial. What's up next? It's gonna go. So, okay, Coriel, I think y'all are done, right?
Yeah. Did you want to do docket then another time?
Oh no,
obviously.
Actually, no, I can do that right now because I'm not set again until 2:15. So we'll go off of YouTube and do that.
Okay. And Chuck,
if you need a run, I can handle that.
No, I'm good. I wanted to talk.
I don't think we're going to have anybody other than us show up. I'd be very surprised. Miss Wright, who's filling in for her? Is she here?
Don't see her, Judge.
Okay.
Hey, Judge, I got somebody wants to say hi to you real quick.
Okay.
Hi, Judge Mabray. It's Danielle from Courtroom.
Long time no see.
I know. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Missing your court.
Well, that's so sweet. Yeah, Maddie had to unblur you. I couldn't hear it was all blurry in the back. I had to say, who is that? Well, good. Well, we're just blowing and going like always. What are you doing now?
CBS supervisor.
Wait, where?
In Bell County.
Oh, boo, yes. Yeah, I think I remember that back in the back of my brain somewhere. Well, come back and be one of our supervisors.
Yeah, it's too far from where I live, but I definitely just wanted to say hi.
Okay, good to see you. Thanks. Thank you. Okay, thank you. This is our final trial on Bailey. The department is here represented by Miss Madeline Miller, AKA sometimes Maddie, and her supervisor. Well, I don't know. Miss Donnell's here too. I guess I don't know who Maddie's supervisor is, but Miss Donnell is supervisor here. The department's lawyer is Mr. Dwayne Rogers, and he's here. The child and her CASA advocate is Miss Mary Irwin. Miss Irwin's supervisor is Andrea Welch, I think.
I'm covering for Andrea, Your Honor.
Okay, but Mr. David Fowler is here. Attorney ad litem for Bailey is Sonia Wright. I don't know where Sonia is. But we can go forward. Just for the record, that Miss Regina Beauchamp, Beauchamp, is I think she's was previously named a conservator of Bailey.
Correct.
And, she's not here. I don't even remember I've seen her the whole time we've had this case. Mr. Rogers, she was served, correct?
Yes, ma'am, but let me absolutely confirm that, but I'm sure she was. Yes, she was, March 7th, 2023.
Okay. She's the grandma who had custody of Bailey. She basically wrappered her into the department. And so that's where we've been ever since. So technically, this trial is a technicality. We got put up too many words in one thing. So just get on the record. I assume that we're just going to go on and do PMC to the department, correct, Mr. Rogers?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, well, let's just put a little bit of testimony on and our current whereabouts as of 2:15 on 8/28, because that's very fluid and changes a lot too. And then we need to talk about removing Miss Regina as a conservator also, in my opinion.
Agreed. And also, before we get started, we had kind of huddled CPS and I, Ms. Donnell, since she was on the case the whole time and Ms. Miller wasn't. I'm probably going to take the testimony from her so we can get the full narrative rather than jumping.
I mean, we don't need to be. I mean, this is a contested, so
yeah, it's good. I'm going to try to keep it quick, and that's how we're going to do it that way. That way, I don't have to call both of them.
Okay. Okay, you may begin, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. So let me call Teresa Donnell. Ms. Donnell, can you just briefly say your name and title and your role in this case?
My name is Teresa Donnell, and I am the CPS supervisor over Bailey case.
Okay. And you've been the supervisor since the case's initiation?
I have been the supervisor since August of 2024.
And were you
I'm
familiar?
sorry, August of 2023.
And before August of 2023, were you familiar with the facts of the case?
Yes, definitely. I was the previous caseworker on Bailey's case.
Very good. And so in one role or another, you've been associated with this matter from the beginning?
Yes.
So can you just briefly describe how did this case come to CPS's attention?
Bailey was taken to Ocean's Behavioral for treatment, and when she was discharged from Ocean's Behavioral Hospital, Miss Beecham, who had PMC of Bailey at the time, refused to go and pick her up. So CPS was contacted, and Bailey came back into CPS care at that time.
And was that about March of 2023?
Yes.
Okay. And you mentioned the pronunciation of her name is a little unusual. If you look at it, it's spelled Beauchamp, but it's actually pronounced Beecham. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So when we refer to Miss Beecham, we're referring to the current conservator of Bailey. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. And she was made conservator in a prior case to this one.
Correct.
Okay. So I'm going to move through some of the history of the case and try to do so in more of a summary approach. Briefly, what relative placement options did the department consider in this case?
The department considered placement with bio mom, bio dad, maternal grandmother, paternal grandmother, who was Miss Beecham, and maternal aunt.
And is it fair to say that other than an off and on engagement from Miss Beecham, that all those other possible relative placement options refused placement?
Correct.
Okay. So did the department ever consider returning Bailey after her March institutionalization back to Miss Beecham?
Yes, Bailey was briefly returned to Miss Beecham in April of 2024. That placement was from April 10th to April 14th. And then again, placement with Miss Beecham from June 19th through July 2nd.
Okay, so those were both very short, were they not?
Correct.
Let's talk about the April timeframe. Did that placement become disrupted?
It did. I received a phone call on the 14th from Miss Beecham informing me that she had allowed Bailey to spend the day with a friend, and she, in the evening, received a phone call from that friend stating that Bailey had ingested some type of drugs and was being taken to the hospital in Cedar Park. And at that time, Miss Beecham informed me that she would not be going to pick up Bailey, and Bailey could not return to her home.
Okay. So where was Bailey placed after she was released from the hospital?
She was detained in Travis County juvenile detention based on some previous warrants for her arrest.
Okay. And so between April and 2024, April and July of 2024, she was in a series of placements.
So Bailey was stayed in custody in Travis County and then was placed at Terrell State Hospital. She was released from Terrell State Hospital back to Miss Beecham on June 19th. And that placement lasted through July 2nd.
And what happened on July 2nd?
So we had arranged for a family meeting to try and support Miss Beecham and the placement, and a kinship worker, a PAL worker, our caseworker, Miss Miller, and also an investigator went to the home to have this support meeting to provide services to the family. And at that meeting, Mr. Beecham informed everyone that Bailey could no longer stay in the home and that they were to take her immediately.
Okay. And where was Bailey sent at that time?
At that time, she came into DFPS custody.
And
supervision.
where was
I'm
her
sorry.
placement? I'm sorry.
She was in CWAP at that time.
Okay. And just general, we've talked about a lot of different placements, and of course, we've had numerous hearings in this case. Can you just briefly describe for the court some of the challenges that Bailey presents when she's in a placement, whether it's a relative or an institutional setting?
Bailey historically presents with multiple runaway events, aggression towards caregivers, staff, other peers. While she's on her runaway events, she participates in activities that are very dangerous, including drug use and putting herself in positions where she will perform full acts to obtain whatever it is that she feels she needs at that moment, whether it be drugs, cigarettes, food. And those are typically the behaviors that we see from her in any placement where she is not secured to where she can't leave.
And so based on some of those behaviors, I take it the CWAP placements were challenging as well, right?
That is definitely correct.
Where is Bailey placed now?
Bailey is currently in Cedar Crest Hospital in Belton.
And just kind of for the record, if you were to rate how hard it is to place Bailey on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the most challenging, what would your answer be?
10.
And also same scale, how difficult is it to successfully address Bailey's behaviors regardless of what placement she's in?
On the scale of 1 to 10?
Yes, ma'am.
A 10.
Do you believe that Miss Beecham is able to manage Bailey as far as her behaviors and safety if she were to return to Miss Beecham's home?
No.
Do you believe Miss Beecham is willing to have Bailey placed in her home now or at any reasonable time in the future?
At this time, Miss Beecham is saying no. Historically, she will renege on that and allow Bailey back. So I can't say what she would say in the future, but for now, her answer is no.
Let me break that down a little bit. The last time you spoke to her, her answer was no. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And she does have a history of kind of going back and forth.
Yes.
Right. In the event that Miss Beecham were to request Bailey's placement, do you believe that she'd be able to manage Bailey's behaviors in her home?
No.
Do you believe that would be a safe environment for Bailey?
No.
Would you recommend such a placement?
No.
And in your opinion, is there any other relative placement that would be in Bailey's best interest or likely to be successful?
No.
And what is your recommendation then about the best option for someone to be Bailey's conservator?
At this time, I believe that the department is the best option to provide Bailey the opportunity for continued services and the opportunity to be safe.
Mm-hmm. And do you believe that having the department as her permanent managing conservator would be in Bailey's best interest?
Yes.
And just real briefly, can you explain why you believe that?
Bailey needs long-term institutional care, and because of the number of times that Miss Beecham has tried to have Bailey placed in her home without success, placement with family at this time is just not in her best interest. Bailey's a danger to herself and to others. And without constant and professional supervision, that her safety would be endangered.
Okay. And only the department, in your opinion, could provide those kind of services.
That's correct.
And therefore, do you believe there's any role for Ms. Beecham to continue as a conservator of any type in Bailey's case at this time?
No.
All right. That's all I have for you, Ms. Donnell. I pass the witness.
I think you and me are the only.
I was going to say, with Ms. Wright not here, I guess that's it. In that case,
Yeah.
let me briefly call Mary Irwin, the CASA in the matter.
Of Miss Donnell, because y'all did a great job summarizing everything.
Okay, so
And
would
you're
you
very
prefer-
kind too.
Yeah, would you prefer me to leave it at that, Your Honor? We could simply make our
I
motion.
think you're good.
Well, very good. I mean, obviously this has been a challenging case for all of us. We all want what's best for Bailey. The circumstances are difficult, but we would move for the PMC to be granted to the department, for Ms. Beecham to be removed as a conservator in this case, and that you would find that those conservatorship changes would be in the best interest of the child.
Okay, thank you. Miss Irwin, you've been on this case the whole time too. Give me your nutshell. I'm sure you ditto everything that Miss Donnell said.
Yes, ma'am. I think Teresa did give a good summary. The times that I visited her quite a bit when she was in Austin State Hospital, and she does seem to get better while she's there. And then they release her. I think the problem is that without restrictions, Bailey does not know how to handle herself. And, she got what she wanted when she ended up back in CWAP, where she can just pretty much do whatever she wants. And it's been a nightmare for the CPS workers and the security people there. And she has been harming herself. And I just, as much as I hate to, I hate it. I think that I know that Maddie's working on North Texas State Hospital. Maybe I just think she needs to stay there at least until she's 18, because I don't think there's anywhere else we can put her that will guarantee or at least assure her safety.
Her from herself and from others, right?
Yes, both. Yes, she's very harmful to herself, but she's also can be very aggressive to others.
Well, and she's also a perfect victim to be trafficked, isn't she?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean,
she'll tell you not that she's too smart for that, but
well, I mean,
and she doesn't admit that she's trafficking herself basically right now, but she doesn't understand that.
But you're also subject to getting caught by some really bad guys or bad women, just bad people in that industry, if that's the word you want to use it. Trade, I don't know what it is, but yeah.
I agree. That's my biggest fear.
What I believe, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe I had to sign another order recently to get her for some sort of transport to Cedar Crest because she didn't want to go or something like that. But how Ms. Irwin or Ms. Donnell, how's she doing at Cedar Crest? How many times she been to Cedar Crest before? What's up?
So I can provide an update. This is the first time that Bailey has been in Cedar Crest Hospital. And the order that you signed did allow the department to transport her safely under the emergency detention order. However, we have received a discharge notice from Cedar Crest because they feel that Bailey's actions are behavioral and not related to mental health. So at this time, we are again searching for placement for Bailey. Maddie is working with others in the department along with, well, there are many people working to try and get Bailey committed to a state hospital. The roadblock that we're hitting right now is that we do not have a bed available at any state hospital. That is the first step to getting the commitment started. Because if we had a bed, then Cedar Crest Hospital has stated they would be willing to do an order of, oh gosh,
protective custody.
Basically, yes. Which would get her to the state hospital, and then we could work on the actual commitment. But she first has to be in what is considered a secured location. Right now, even though she's in Cedar Crest Hospital, they are saying that it is not a secured location because it is not the order that you signed was only good for 72 hours. and basically Cedar Crest is saying because there's no reason for her to remain there, she is now being held against her will. It's a lot. There's a lot to this. However, the first step that has to happen is for us to have a guaranteed bed in order for Cedar Crest to step up and do the order of protective custody and then move forward with the commitment orders.
Okay, that's confusing. Mr. Rogers,
Yes, ma'am.
I haven't done commitments in, however long I've been judged, long time. But if you get back in the old days, if you got a psychiatrist to sign one of those certificates of whatever you call it, incapacity, or I don't know what the word you want to call it is, just a certificate, a doctor's certificate, physician certificate, maybe that's what it's called. And I thought those kind of, you could get basically, it's not an emergency, it's not the 72-hour emergency commitment, but I thought you could get a commitment for up to 14 days.
I believe that's correct. We actually had some experience with this because previously in this case, we had to recommend a commitment. This was back in the case that occurred before this one, if I recall correctly. And Sonia, Ms. Wright and I did a lot of research on it, and we figured out that it was necessary to petition the court to have an affidavit, as you suggest, and that then the court could do a commitment. And that actually, I believe, did occur back in that prior case. I don't remember what the time limit was, but I know it was more than 72 hours and 14 days. Strikes me as kind of what my memory is. I'd have to go double check, but I think that process.
72-hour commitment, 72-hour commitment,
Right.
the emergency, and then the 14-day
Right.
order protective custody one. Yeah.
And usually, it kind of depends, but a lot of times you would start in a court with a probate/guardianship jurisdiction where the child is located. So
That's correct.
yeah.
And we have obtained the two required CMEs, the certificate of medical examination, both signed by psychiatrists. So we have those. I have also submitted the application. However, Bell County is saying that we put the cart before the horse because the first thing that has to happen is the order of protective custody.
I thought the order of protective custody had to have the doctor's certificate attached to it.
There's one. There's only one that has to go with that one. And that one cannot be more than 72 hours old. The CMEs that we have are approaching the 30-day limit, which is the two that would be required for the actual commitment. I've learned so much through this.
Good. What about, okay, our catchment area in Llano goes to Kerrville State Hospital. What's this, and I don't think in all my years of doing the CPS stuff, we've ever sent, when I was county attorney or now as judge, I don't think we've ever sent a juvenile to Kerrville State Hospital. But but she's a Texas resident. She's a Llano County resident. Does anybody know what our catchment area or our MHGD is saying about that?
The catchment area goes by where she is currently residing, which right now is Bell County.
I know, and that's the stupidest rule ever.
If you could set up a CWAP location in Llano.
CWAP. Yeah. In Llano. Well, we had one in Marble Falls that worked well.
We did.
Yeah. I think that is atrocious. We've had so many, because I'm sure Bell County has too, because of all the CWAP locations in Bell County. Yeah. I guess that's what the deal is. Okay, I had another thought. Let me think what it was. Oh yeah, my other question was, okay, since the last time we had this case, it was a dual status case and the district judge ended up finishing the case. A lot of stuff went on in that case that I didn't know about, okay? I didn't know that Bailey was in Colorado and, blah, blah, all that stuff. So I learned a lot of that when I got the case this time because there's no dual status. Well, she's been arrested times, but no dual status stuff in Llano County that I'm aware of. So that being said, where out of state has Bailey been besides the Colorado placement? Or has she ever been
her only? I'm sorry.
Or has she ever been out of state anywhere?
She has only been out of state to the Colorado placement. We have sent her packet out to other out of state facilities. And she has been denied each time. We're offering child specific contract based on, we know that her behaviors are concerning, and they read her history and deny her each time?
Yesterday I had a case in San Saba, and the young man is in I'm going to call it lockdown. I don't really think lockdown is the word, but it sort of sounded like it to me. And it's in Florida, and I don't know if it was under child specific contract or not, but it sounded like like they got to wear uniforms. I mean, the complaint yesterday was he wanted to wear different kind of shoes. I'm like, no, you made your bed. This is where you're at. I wonder if that place for boys has a companion place for girls.
I believe Miss Wright looked into that after our last hearing, and they do not.
Okay, but I don't know.
Strictly for boys.
Mr. Fowler, it was Mr. Vidler's case. Can you find out the name of where the San Saba child is? He's in PMC and has been for a long time. Find out the name of that place where he's at, and let Miss Donnell and maybe Miss Irwin, or just send all y'all's team an email about that place. I can't think of the name. And there's a lot of stuff I heard from the young man yesterday that I don't like about it. Like they don't give him seconds. He's like a 15-year-old boy. They eat like thirds and fourths, A lot of stuff like that I didn't like, but I changed some of that in court orders. But I liked I like the lockdown.
The structure.
The structure. That's a good word. Yes. The structure. And he kind of has some Bailey tendencies, so it's a good place for him. So anyway, y'all see if there's a sister place. And I know one of our difficult Burnett young ladies went to somewhere else in Florida that might be worth looking at too. She's had 2 different names. If y'all want to know who.
It's Gulf Coast.
Gulf Coast is where she was?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I don't think it's locked down, but I think I kind of liked it. But anyway. Okay. Anybody have anything else they want to add?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I believe maybe the place in Florida is Brooksville, RTC.
Where the young man is?
Yes.
Okay. Fowler's nodding his head. Okay. You got me. So I really liked his therapist though. She was cool. So, okay. Anybody have anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. There's a chat about New Life. New Life, I think they've turned her down, or maybe she's been at New Life before. I like New Life too. Okay. Well, based upon the testimony I heard, I'm going to name the department as Bailey's permanent managing conservator. I'm going to remove Miss Regina. I can't remember the right way to say it. I'm going to call it both. Beecham as a conservator, and find that removal is in Bailey's best interest. I'm going to order CASA department and Miss Irwin and Miss Wright case. And our next perm after hearing will be 10/9/24. But I know we'll have multiple conversations or emails between now and then. Anybody need anything else?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, y'all. Thank you. Long time coming.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Keep up the good looking work, and let me know what you need if you need any orders.
Hi, Judge Mabray. How are you?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm just hanging out. What are you doing?
I can't hear. Hold on.
Yeah, turn that. Yeah.
There we go. Judge Henson asked me to come let you know our situation. We've been going since 11:15. We're on our last witness with Miss Willis. So we're at your mercy. Can we have her for a little bit longer?
Yeah.
I know she's your 2:30 and your 3.
She's at 3 too. Yeah.
Yes,
and then
yes, ma'am.
I have kid visits at 3:30, so I got to be done by 3:30, and then again at 4:30. And I got court in between.
Okay.
Let me see who she represents. She represents Mom. Yeah. I mean, Deanna, why don't you go to the breakout room with the lawyers? Do you know what's going on?
Yes, here comes Nina now.
Okay, thanks, Jamie. Thanks, Jamie. Are y'all done, Jamie, with her?
Grace, before they start. According to Judge Mabry's schedule, I don't know if that's, the attorneys are in the back breakout room right now.
Judge, can you hear me? Yeah, Judge Henson wants to know if we can have 30 minutes more to finish this hearing, because he's got another hearing waiting in the.
I mean, it's the final trial, and I have kid meetings that have to go at 3:30.
Well,
I have court at 4 again. Adoption.
Yeah, he's in the same
kid meeting. So I don't know how. Deanna can stay here and go to the breakout room. I don't know.
Well, I'll go in the breakout room for the moment because he went ahead and took a break. There are other attorneys here, so I think he's talking to them. He did ask me to ask you for 30 minutes.
I just don't have 30 minutes today. I'm sorry. I do not have 30 minutes. And, the other problem is we're past our dismissal date. So we got to go. So, but y'all go to the breakout room and talk. That might take care of some things.
I don't see invitation.
And
is it down here?
Have to ask you.
If you go to breakout rooms on the bottom, you should see join room 1.
Where is breakout rooms on the bottom? Oh, I see. Okay, I got it.
Awesome. Great.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Simpson, we need some breakout rooms. Can you send Miss Amanda Johnson to a breakout room with Miss Willis and the grandparents to a breakout room with Miss Bennett? I think that takes care of everybody else.
Do we need to have any hearing, Judge, on this, or?
I don't know. Hang on.
Okay.
If it's a default, we probably have to have something. Oh, I froze again, didn't I?
No, actually, you're here.
Okay.
At least to me.
Okay. I'm like, everyone else looks frozen, so I thought it was me. Crap.
Sometimes we even had it where one person is frozen as to one person, but not to everybody else. You never know.
Oh, that's so weird. I would think we'd have to have a short hearing if we're doing a default, right?
I think you're right.
Go talk to your clients. Yes. Ms. Rogers.
Yes, ma'am.
How long do you think we're going to be on the adversary?
I don't expect very long. I'm not certain we need to do a long breakout ahead of it. I spoke to everybody. Everybody was in agreement on TMC, and we talked about heritage and visits and hair stranding, parents and kids, etc. So I think we could have a short check-in to make sure everybody's still okay with those terms, and then knock it out.
Okay, because I have a meeting with a kid at Pegasus at 3:30.
Okay. What we could do is kind of knock this one out, let you do well, but you've got Stuart Stevenson at 4.
I'm listening. I'm just getting some.
No, I'm just thinking if you've got Stuart Stevenson at 4, and then you've got the adoption. When's the adoption? Also, okay.
And
We can do.
I have another kid meeting at 4:30 for a case next week, and I have a case at 4:30.
We could either have me recite what I talked to everybody about, and they can have a chance to say, well, what about this? What about that? And then do it. Or we could do a short reset and do the same thing. As to if you have to do stuff.
Let's see what we get in this one in the next.
You got it. You got it. I really don't think it'll be fast, and I really don't think anybody will disagree with what I say, because everybody was kind of on the same page about it.
Okay.
But, you never know.
Yeah. How are y'all, Miss Willis? Nina, how are y'all?
We're doing well. Somebody's getting old when they keep hitting the wrong buttons.
Y'all in agreement?
Yes. We are on board.
Okay.
And excited. And Amanda, I want you to know this was Christelle's idea. She came up with this brainstorm. Judge, do you know whether the district clerk will want to give it a new number or add an A to it, or is it just going to keep the same number as it is?
I would probably keep the same cause number. I don't know, but every day, I don't know.
Okay.
Be easier, would be easier just to do it in this one so nobody has to file. Because you got lawyers, you don't have to pay filing fees, all that kind of stuff,
Right. Okay.
Cause I don't think our procedural deal would have any bearing on that. you
That's
know?
what I was wondering, but we've had other cases that just went from temporary orders into district court, and I think that number stayed the same.
Right.
And I can't get into the calendar on my computer again.
Hey,
I'll
Judge,
work on that tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
there was a young attorney in court here today.
Uh-huh.
It was Sandra Thomas's son. Did you know that he was an attorney?
Yeah, I think I knew that. Yeah, I think I did know that, but I didn't know what he did or where he works. Where is he out of?
I don't know. He was actually doing an appeal on an eviction, so I don't know if
Oh, wow.
he's just doing civil law or what.
His name's Hunter.
Hunter? Yeah,
Yeah.
Hunter.
I've got another appointment, so I'm going to jump off of it on my computer and get on by my phone.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna have an agreement or not. I don't know. But okay.
On the other side?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
Wow. Well, Judge, if there are no temporary and the case is dismissed, then they don't really have orders for possession either.
Correct.
Or conservatorship for that matter.
Correct. But you know what could happen is whoever's going to beat each other to beat somebody to the punch to get temporary orders filed, or ASAP, or TRO, or I don't know. So none of those options are good.
Right, except that it would probably end up down there in Oasis,
and that's not good for your client.
No, except I don't know that the TRO.
But I don't know if they had the 6 months residency requirement.
Well, they probably don't.
Yeah.
You're right.
Ms. Wills, who do you represent on the new case?
I'm the ad litem for the children.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't know that you really need me on that.
Right. I was gonna say,
great.
Okay. And are you agreeing to TMC?
Yeah. And like I told Dwayne, I kind of reading between the lines. This is a lot for the Ivies. So hopefully this will go quick. But cute kid. Well, the one's a baby, but I hadn't been over there. I talked to her on the phone and I could hear little Miss Chatty Cathy in the background, and she sure doesn't sound like a 4-year-old, but they're having fun with her, but it's a lot because they have other kids there too, and dogs.
Okay.
So they have a Malinois.
You're agreeing with the placement, you're agreeing to TMC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just a little concerned for the Malinois because they're kind of scary, with little kids.
What? For the what?
The Malinois dog that they have.
Oh, yeah.
But,
well, maybe Deanna could stay here, or yeah, or if you're in agreement, that's okay. Okay, Ms.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement.
Okay. The only question. Oh, I'm freezing again. Crap. The only question we had was, can we also have like 1 week in the summer? That was the only.
Yes, that's a stupid question. Yes, you can. Yeah, I was going to say yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, everybody needs a break. Yeah, you can. And then say, not bother, not July 4th, not any of those, just say, yes, you can have a week in the summer. And then if not, here's the week it's going to be,
That's fine. And then maybe like the third weekend, whatever y'all agree to. But if you don't have an agreement, the third weekend of the month from like Friday at 6 to Sunday at 6.
Okay.
Well, the only problem with that is you're going to have to agree to first or second, because then that's going to throw out the fourth.
Okay, you want it to be first or second?
That's fine. I think the default needs to be the fourth weekend, because they need to be able to agree on 1, 2, or 3. They need to have some options.
Okay, so the fourth weekend of every month if there's no agreement.
Yes.
That's fine. It doesn't matter to me as long as there's a backup.
Yeah, no, I think the fourth is easier.
I'm sure Amanda will agree to whatever weekend they need unless there's something compelling.
Yeah.
She just wants us to work.
Yeah.
And then
go on.
No, I'm good. Do you want me to say out loud what I think our agreement is?
Yes.
Yeah, but let me call the case.
Yeah. After you call the case. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Miss Hyman, this will be quick. You ready? And did Miss Greenwald text you? She did. Okay, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. Okay, for the record, I gotta do this real quick. The mom is Amanda Johnson. She's represented by Miss Nina Willis. She's here. Mr. Joseph Gonzalez is the acknowledged father. He is not here. He's in default. He's represented by Miss Jennifer Harris. He was served on 3/8/23. The interveners are Mr. Johnny Johnson III and Miss Samantha Johnson. They're here represented by their attorney, Miss Natalie Bennett. Kaylani is the child. Kaylani is represented by Mr. Marcus Wood, who's here, and his CASA advocates are Miss Chriselle Richens, and her supervisor is somebody. I don't know who the supervisor is.
Andrea
Welch. Okay. And the department is here represented by Miss Ashley Osborne and her supervisor, Miss Jacinta Mouton, and attorney Dwayne Rogers. I think that got everybody. Also for the record, it's my understanding that Miss Bennett and Miss Willis have agreed to some entry of some permanent orders. So Miss Bennett, if you can say those real quick, please.
Okay. The maternal grandparents and the parents. So Amanda Johnson is named the managing conservator of the child. The grandparents are named possessory conservators of the child with that whole list of rights and duties. I can't remember the number, but the long list of rights and duties where you can, have access to medical and school and stuff like that. No decision-making rights. Those are all Ms. Johnson's. That they will have visits as agreed. And if there's no agreement, then it'll be the fourth weekend of the month from 6 p.m. Friday to 6 p.m. Sunday. And they will pick a halfway meeting place to meet halfway. The grandparents will also have, again, whatever they agree to for the summer. But if there's no agreement, then the grandparents will get one weekend in the summer, and I will randomly pick a weekend, and I can run it by Miss Willis as a fallback dates that don't include like a holiday. Dad visits are just whatever is agreed to between he and Amanda, and he needs to pay minimum wage child support.
Let's just say 225. Okay.
Okay. 225 a month.
And when do you want them in? Let's say October 1st. Okay.
Okay. October 1st. The Johnson grandparents have the right to request drug tests from either parent. If they request a drug test, they'll text message them or do it in writing, and they'll pay for the drug test. But if it's positive, then they don't have to pay for the drug test. The drug test needs to be taken within 24 hours. And if they set it up, I don't think a release has to be signed, but if a release needs to be signed, then it needs to be signed so they can get the results directly from the drug testing center. Health insurance, Ms. Johnson, are you going to apply for Medicaid? Would you qualify for Medicaid?
Yes.
Okay. So then Amanda Johnson will apply for Medicaid for health insurance for the child, and then Dad would need to reimburse like the $57 a month, since that's the lowest I think we're allowed to do.
And that'll begin 10/1/24 also.
Do what?
That'll begin 10/1/24.
Yes.
They'll 50/50, the parents will 50/50 split the uninsured health care.
That was the next thing I was going to say. And then the two parents split unreimbursed medical.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Johnson, Amanda Johnson, is that your agreement?
Yes.
Okay. Grandparent Johnson's, is that y'all's agreement? You can nod.
Yes, I agree. I think Natalie said 1 weekend in the summer, and I think we meant 1 week in the summer.
Yeah,
understood.
It's
Yeah.
1 week, one entire week in the summer, and 1 weekend every month.
Right. Okay, I agree. Thank you.
You'll also get one weekend, you know, in the week you get the month you get the weekend, but we get the whole week, you'll also get a weekend. And you'll also continue to get the weekends, you know, throughout the summer also. So that'll work out. Okay. Okay. So all the Johnsons are agreement. Department, ad items, just give me y'all's nod. I know doesn't really matter what y'all think anymore, but you know, this is agreement, correct?
For the record, we agree.
Clarification, just because when I threw out the drug thing, I threw out there the first year. I don't know that it matters to Amanda. I think she's just pleased with this, but is that an indefinite, just whenever they want to ask for a drug test, or is that just for the first year?
I have no idea. I did not talk to them about that.
Well, I don't know that it matters to Amanda, but what I had suggested and what I had told her was that for the first year, every 3 months, she would do a hair strand or nail bed test, and she was in agreement with that.
I mean, I would just defer whatever CASA or the ad litem think. I mean, I think
it doesn't matter. I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Let's just do for the year, because after that time, Kaylani's going to be in school, and there's going to be a whole much more eyes and ears at that time too.
Okay, let's do 1 year, so long as all tests are taken and are negative.
Okay.
And if not, then it extends like another year from any positive test.
That
makes
good.
sense.
Okay, that being said, everybody's going to be released from representation. And
Your Honor, just on record, I'm not making any kind of agreement on behalf of my client.
Yes.
And what is he going to be named?
He's named possessory conservator also.
And will there be any visitation along with that possessory conservatorship?
As agreed by him and the mom.
Thank you.
So
Okay,
as far as the order goes, if you want me to sign off on it as agreed, I don't mind doing that, but I don't think Jennifer wants that. I think she wants it to be a default, right?
Probably. Ms. Bennett's going to be ordered to prepare the order.
I'll do the order.
And we're going to have submission hearing just so we make sure we have the order done.
Sure.
On submission hearing is going to be 10-9.
Okay.
Okay. And yeah, Ms. Harris can't sign it. We got it. That's not going to hold up submission. We understand.
Do you want me to just put my clients and I and Nina and Ms. Johnson and Dad, and we're the only people in the order?
I need you to go on and release everybody else too.
Okay, so put everybody in the order and then release CPS and all the attorneys and CASA.
Okay. I mean, Mr. Rogers, CASA, Mr. Wood don't need to sign it for you know, those reasons, but
Sure.
they need to be released in it.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay.
Do they need to agree to the order?
Put some sort of language in there that shows that they're not involved in these negotiations. Okay.
Okay.
Based upon what we discussed in the breakout room. You following me?
Yes, yes.
Was that portion of the case dismissed by operational law? Can we just put that language in there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Well, thank y'all for coming to agreement. Anytime y'all can come to agreement, that's better than what me or a district judge or any other judge can do, especially because it would cost you a whole lot more money. Everybody have to have lawyers. And sometimes when you have big custody fights, you know, it hurts everybody's feelings. So I think this is a good deal for Kaylani, and y'all just work out when Kaylani can come home to Miss Johnson to get that out. And Miss Willis is still technically on, you know, until we get the order done. So everybody's still around. So lots of times orders and submission dates are way past the dismissal date. So that's good. Okay. Thank y'all. Yeah.
Release for the next hearing and let Deanna.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks.
Yes, bye. Sorry, that was quick. Go. You're excused too.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Your Honor.
My understanding, Mr. Rogers. Thank y'all. Good luck.
Yes, Your Honor. I've conferred with all parties, and in the interest of time, I know the court is pressed for time. I would like to summarize what I believe was the result of those conferences, and then in the event that I missed anything or was incorrect about something, so they could kind of chime in. That TMC was agreed by mother and father, that no one is aware of any Indian heritage. CPS agrees to and is currently working toward having goodbye visits with each parent if that has not already occurred. that visits could resume, but only after 3 clean consecutive clean UAs. We would like to request hair strand on both parents to establish a baseline, and also a hair strand on the children, given the facts of the case, just to see where they are.
Visits or what? What'd you say?
Visits would begin after 3 consecutive clean UAs. We didn't discuss virtual visits, but I don't think department would have any objection to that at any time.
Yeah. Okay.
I think the only other thing was placement.
Oh, yes, that's rather an important detail. And placement was going to be with the paternal grandparents.
Paternal?
Paternal is my understanding.
Okay.
Is that correct, CPS and CASA? That's what I had on my information. Okay, good.
Okay, Ms. Dowell, what else do you need?
Your Honor, that's all. I spoke with Mr. Rogers yesterday, confirmed the agreement.
Okay. Okay, Casa, what about y'all?
That's all we need for right now.
Okay. Parents, have y'all ever been to Attorney General Court or anything else regarding, I guess at least Charlotte, because Sienna's little. Y'all ever been to court on Charlotte before? No? Okay. Okay. After today, there's going to be a meeting called a family group conference. And at the family group conference, that's where y'all's services will be developed. And services are things, you know, like drug testing, counseling, things like that you have to do to get CPS out of your life, okay, and to get the kiddos back home. I tell everybody at every hearing, you have to comply with your service plan or your parental rights can be subject to termination, okay? Y'all have court-appointed attorneys. I need the applications for court-appointed attorneys so I know that you're eligible for a court-appointed attorney. If you don't already have them, the lawyers will send those to you, and I need them returned to me, excuse me, by September 6th, or I won't know you're eligible for an attorney and your attorneys will be released, okay?
Your Honor, you should have one in your email from Ms. Morris.
Okay, have not had time to look at emails in the last hour or so. Okay, and also I need the parents department. I need the parents to hair strand by 3 p.m. Friday, and y'all can hair strand the kids whenever, but we need the results back by the next hearing. I'm gonna go on and let the parents FaceTime like 3 times a week. That's okay, because I mean the little girls are with their grandparents anyway, so we can do that. Okay. And visits after the 3 clean consecutive UAs and hair strand submission also. Okay, parents, y'all understand everything? You're muted, ma'am. I can't hear you. Ma'am, I can't hear you.
You're muted.
Can't hear you.
If you're on a computer, you can press the space bar and it will temporarily unmute you. If you're not on a computer.
No, we were on a phone. We're on my phone. I'm sorry. Where would we have to go for our hair strand?
The department will tell you. They'll get with you.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know. I don't.
Yes, you know. No, I understand. Maybe I was just asking.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. They'll let you know.
Okay.
We move on. Let me see. Your caseworker is going to be Miss Victoria Martin, so she'll let you know. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and she'll probably get that set up like as soon as we get done here. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Well, anybody need anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Oh, I know what I needed to order. Parents, y'all need to provide personal effects for the grandparents. If the grandparents say that Sienna needs diapers, y'all need to do diapers. If Charlotte needs a Coke,
yes, ma'am.
I know y'all would do that anyway.
Yes, ma'am. We have Walmart Plus, so I can have it sent to them same day or next day. We know roughly when the kids run out of things, so we had already intended on having things just show up for them that they already need, like formula, diapers, wipes, for Charlotte's case, Miralax and pull-ups.
We already have sent them over plenty of clothes to keep them clothed for at least 2-3 weeks.
Okay.
And toys, teething stuff for the baby, everything.
Medicines.
Okay.
Everything that we have for them for their day-to-day life.
Okay. Well, that's what we're going to do in lieu of paying child support now because y'all know what they need anyway. So that'll work out good.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, good. Our next hearing is going to be our status hearing on October 9th. Don't know the time yet. Does everybody agree that the hearings can be held via Zoom?
Yes, Rob.
Okay. On that day, we'll go over your service plan. We'll make an order of the court. I'll give you some more court dates, and I'm sure y'all would have already started doing stuff by then also. Okay. Okay. Well, thank y'all for coming today. Good luck to everybody, and I'll see y'all October 9th. Thank you.
May I ask one question real quick?
Yes.
When can FaceTime calls begin?
Y'all can begin those now.
Thank you.
Got it. Somebody tell the grandparents so they don't freak out. But yeah, y'all can begin all that now.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, but remember, no in person till 3 clean consecutive UAs, and you got to submit to the hair stream.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, I think that's my last one for the day. May I be excused?
Oh no, you got Stuart Stevenson. You got.
I think that's Rob, Your Honor.
But I'm gonna go meet a kid. I'm gonna probably be late to that, but y'all can just wait for me.
Okay. That is Mr. Wilson's case, just for the record.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
Angelica, why don't you keep this up, and I'm gonna go meet with my child, and then I'll be back on this case. Okay. I mean, on this link.
I'm happy to.
Hello.
There's Lindsay.
How are you, Tiffany?
Fine, and you?
Good. How are you, Miss Hyde?
I'm great to be here with you. I couldn't think of anything better to do.
All right. Do you have a counterpart? Do you have another half named Professor Jackal?
Yes, you know my alter ego.
I can't help but make that joke.
Hey, when I was a kid, you have no idea how many times people would ask me that. So I'm used to that one.
Oh my goodness.
Very good though. I'm glad that you know all about that. That's good.
Well, I can't take him anywhere.
Hey, Michaela.
Hi, Becky. Hi, Becky.
Hello, you guys. Boy, you're wound up, Drayden. My goodness.
They just got
I think he's pretty happy, Becky, about today, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
No, and Michaela gets to be patient. Hang in there, baby girl. We're gonna
make your day special too, right, Becky?
Absolutely.
And let's not forget
That's what I told Irene.
Yes. Let's not forget the background character. Say hello, Gabriel.
Hi, Gabriel. Nice to see you.
I think they've already started the party there, Becky. What do you think?
It's not
I almost
party.
had a chance to
It's
go
not
to
party since it
Georgetown.
doesn't have cake. Yeah, no cake.
I was going to be in Georgetown at a hearing earlier, and I was going to scoot over to Elgin to surprise them, and then
wow!
So I didn't get to surprise them today.
Oh, that's okay.
Eat my cake for me.
That's all right. Yeah, we will.
Andrea's trying to get in. She's having some internet connectivity problems, but she's
Oh,
trying.
That happens sometimes.
For
She'll be so jealous if she doesn't get here, Clyde, with us.
Oh, yeah. She'll be very upset.
Maybe if she reboots and stuff, she'll get in. We can ask the judge to give her, wait for a second if we need.
What about Missy Etter?
What?
Over there, right next to the Clyde video.
Oh, she's one of the teammates. She works at the district clerk's office, Missy,
Right.
and she's a sweetheart. She's in all of our hearings. She's going to say hi to you. I think she's going to start.
What she does, she takes care of all of our paperwork and helps make sure
Hello.
everything is done
Oh,
right.
nice.
Yes.
Very important.
Yep.
It's nice to meet you on a good day.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I asked them if they were nervous or excited, and I'm excited. He's excited. Michaela's excited and a little nervous too, she said. Oh my, that's okay.
Everybody here's friendly, and so they no need to be Michaela nervous. Just be happy and excited today.
I love it. This is nice because they've never met the judge, you guys. We've really never had a judge conference. And so I love it. Judge Mabry's finally going to get to see these kiddos that we've been seeing for a long time.
Oh yeah.
She sees pictures.
Well, she's read a lot. She knows, even though they haven't met her, she knows them, doesn't she, Becky?
That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Clyde's like shaking his head, yes.
And if we're lucky, we're going to see her kitty cat walk across the.
I love it when that happens.
Oh, wow.
I think she's officing from her remote office today, and sometimes we get to hear her dog bark or see the kitty cat.
Oh, okay.
Because cats like the attention. They're going
Oh.
to get the attention one way or another.
That is so
Have to
true.
wait is by walking in front of a computer screen while they're having a face chat.
There you go.
Close enough.
Get really humid there because it's like, built on a swamp.
More guests. There were
Yeah.
more guests.
Mhm.
Angel Heart, Lindsay Miller.
Mhm.
There you go. They're the ones who helped. They helped get that miraculous across the finish line licensure done. Yay!
Yay.
That's your
Naomi's here too.
Yeah.
They got me a lot of paperwork. When the judge will tell you she's read a lot of paperwork, they got a lot of that paperwork. It came from Angel Heart.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of it came from Tiffany, both of them.
Mhm.
Probably about an inch worth or so of papers I filed for the judge to read from those two people.
Wow.
Thank goodness. That's because Drayden's so important. He takes a lot of papers. Very important young man.
Everybody had lots of good things to say. That's why, right?
That is true.
Very true.
Oh, and Miss Hyde, I just noticed there was a jack in your background.
Something
Oh,
in your
the
friend.
yard, yeah.
Oh, a jack with a one eye, to be precise.
Right there.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Nothing goes by you. You're very observant.
I am very observant.
I like that. I think that's great. You're going to keep everybody on their toes there at your house, right?
Yeah.
So are y'all in ROTC? Did you start your ROTC?
Yes.
Awesome. Do you see the flag behind me?
Uh-huh.
You remember I retired from the Army, and that's one of the flags that I got.
The red, white, and blue.
Oh, there's all my Army hats, y'all. Hey, Michaela, see those hats in that corner right there?
Yeah.
Well, except for the bottom two are my husband's Boy Scout hats, but that was my very first Army hat. It was really a nice little teapot.
How cool is that?
I liked it better than the funky ones. We had to do a beret at one point. That was just nasty. I just found every excuse not to wear it. I stay under the overhang of a building so I wouldn't be outside and have to have it on.
Well, they just I think ordered their uniforms. So Drayden got his pants, but he hasn't got anything else. She hasn't got anything yet, but they've already ordered it.
Good.
And they're getting ready to go to 2 outings with the ROTC in October.
Wow.
They love it.
We're going to the air show and Six Flags.
They're gonna go see the Blue Angels.
Yeah, we're gonna go see the Blue Angels.
Oh,
That's
spectacular. Spectacular. Have you been practicing your push-ups?
Oh no, I don't do push-ups.
And she's the PT. She's the PT.
Oh yeah, I'm in charge of the PT.
Yeah, go figure.
And she was telling me she makes them do the PT and she just calls it out. That's the position you want.
That's
No,
right.
I told you that I was in charge of the PT. I have to do what they're doing. So if I say dodgeball, then of course I'm playing dodgeball. So if I say sit-ups, then we're doing sit-ups, which I don't like to do sit-ups because I can't do sit-ups or push-ups without falling on my face and breaking something probably. Jumping jacks I can do. Name something. Name an exercise.
Well, we got the judges here with us now, guys, so we're gonna
Right.
report.
Oh my
We kind of started the party already here.
Yeah, I think she's a little late.
It's been a crazy, awful day today. So
This will be fun. This will be some sunshine.
end on good stuff.
Maybe.
Okay, y'all.
Hello, Judge
I know a lot
Maybe.
of people in the waiting room that I don't know who these people are. I'm sure they're young. Pretty fine. I got the wrong file. Okay, there.
Catch your breath, Judge. I want to officially introduce you to these two wonderful kids. You've never met them before, Michaela and Hayden. Hayden. Drayden. I know.
He's like, are we changing my name? No.
I know. And it's been, Judge, it's been many, many years, and you haven't actually put your eyes on them directly. So we're tickled that they can meet you.
And you know, I'm not sure Miss Lane knows your name. No, Drayden, Hayden, Brayden.
I'm sorry. It's been a long day, Judge. You know the deal.
And we just had a case that was set after the dismissal date. I'm like, oh no.
Oh.
So we got it resolved. I know, that's why I'm late. It's just kind of everything went to, kaput. But anyway, We got agreed order, so it's good. So anyway, sorry, I'm venting because I'm just running around like a crazy person. I need some.
That's okay.
Something to slow me down. Okay, y'all ready? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna swear everybody in on every case just because I don't want to do it twice. We're going to swear it in. Okay, our adoption case is contrary to truth, so help you God.
I do.
Yes.
I do.
Thank you. Ms. Hyde, you may begin, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Would ask if you would take judicial notice of the court's file.
I will take judicial notice of both the files and the cause numbers I just read off.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I will call as my first witness the department's awesome adoption specialist. So, may I proceed?
Yes. Let's see.
Thank
It's
you.
Slab. That's right. Okay.
Your name, please?
Tiffany Slab.
Ma'am, you are the adoption specialist for Drayden, not Hayden, for Drayden and his adoption today, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, he currently, and I'm stressing that for a very good reason, he currently is in the managing conservatorship of the department, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you hoping that Judge Mabry is going to change that very, very soon?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you here both recommending and requesting that the judge grant his adoption today?
Yes, ma'am.
You have given me a lot of the documents the judge has noted already in this hearing. One of the many documents you gave me was the affidavit consenting to the adoption on behalf of the department. Can you tell Judge why it's your position and the department's position this adoption is in Drayden's best interest and why you're asking Judge to make it official here today?
Drayden is where he belongs. This is his family. The interaction of these, all the family together, you and Layla were never separated, never apart, because they love each other, they adore each other, they play with each other, and joke around with each other. It's a family unit.
So really, it sounds like you're asking Judge to make something official that in this wonderful household already exists.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, and he has been there almost 2 years in placement, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's definitely time to make this official, and that's what you're asking Judge to do?
Yes, ma'am.
You definitely know that this is in his best interest.
Oh, definitely. This is where he belongs. This is his mom.
Says it all. Thank you very much. Your Honor, I pass this witness.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Lang, any questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Do we have Mr. Mr. Wilson, any questions?
I'm here. No questions, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next witness, Ms. Hyde.
Thank you. I want to go to CASA, to Mr. Clyde Powell, please. And hello there.
Hello.
Your name, please.
My name is Clyde Pell.
Sir, you are the CASA advocate for Drayden, correct?
That is correct.
I know that you have advocated very long and very hard for him with Judge Mabry, always, and I'm going to ask you today, I know you've made a lot of court reports. I'm going to ask you today for your last court report, your last oral report for Drayden as Judge considers his adoption. I'd appreciate it if you would address what you believe to be in his best interest and why, and if there's anything else you'd like Judge to note today, please include that as well, sir.
Okay. My last court report summarizes my more recent visits with Drayden and the family, Drayden and Michaela as well, as I am the CASA for both of them. And as Tiffany has just stated, the actions of that group is as of a family. I've been involved in the case a little over a year. And throughout that time, that is the interaction that I've seen, showing affection, showing the interactivity, the joking, as well as some required discipline when necessary. That is all appropriate in the family structure. Drayden is very well supported there and seems to be doing well at school as well. So he's getting the support that he needs at home so that he can continue to be successful in the school environment as well. So I do believe that it is in Drayden's best interest that this adoption be approved and this home life be made permanent.
Thank you very much, sir. Judge, I pass this witness.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Wilson, Ms. Lang.
No questions, Your Honor.
No questions.
Next witness, Ms. Hyde.
I know you know who I am. Judge, I'd like to go to Angel Heart to Ms. Miller as my next witness.
Thank you.
Hello, your name, please.
Hi, Lindsay Miller.
And Ms. Miller, you are with Angel Heart, a licensed shop placing agency, correct?
Correct.
I know you've told me this before. One of your favorite things that you do at Angel Heart is work with wonderful families for foster care and adoption, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
When I say wonderful families, is that a good way to talk about this great family here today?
Yes, definitely.
Now, you have given me a lot of the documents the judges reviewed and noted, including the very positive and approved home study, and then the very last court report that has to be written for Drayden on the final post-placement adoption evaluation. That recommended the adoption, of course, and I'd like it if you could speak about that, please.
Sure. So we have more recently been involved with the family, but have worked with Miss Irene for a little while to get her licensed. And since she's been licensed with us, I think it is so evident how bonded they are. I've seen Drayden giving hugs to Miss Irene and loving on her, and they are such a sweet and loving family. And I commend Miss Irene for all that she has done for both of the kiddos to have their needs met. I know she's given up a lot for them, and they're just such a wonderful, beautiful family. And I know that she will continue to meet their needs forever.
Thank you very much. Judge, I pass this witness.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions, Ms. Miller?
No, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Next witness, Ms. Hyde.
Well, we've been hearing so much about Miss Irene, I think I need to go to her next. So, hello. Yes.
Hello.
Your name, please.
Yes, my name is Irene Marapow, and I am the kid's mom. You know, when the kids came to stay with me, it was a very big surprise. I hadn't really thought about them. I didn't know them. And everything's been provided for me with the help of everybody involved. Plus, our faith plays a big part. And I know that I know God has a plan in all of this. And they didn't just happen. There was a plan and a purpose, and we all followed through. We all each did our part. And the children have adjusted very, very well. Michaela and Drayden are two totally different individuals. They are not anything like what they were when they first got here. And I've watched them both grow, and they're very inquisitive. They're very intelligent. They're very loving. They like to help. They like to participate in everything. They ask a lot of questions, and they want the truth about things. So because I am a pastor, the truth is a very important thing. So I try not to hide anything from them at all. I explain everything to them. And if they still don't understand, then I try to find somebody else that can help me explain it. But most of the time, their questions are very valid. They're very intense. Sometimes they're very smart questions. They're not silly questions. And so it's been a joy to have them in my family, and for all intents and purposes, whether the adoption was done today or not, they're my kids and they're not going anywhere. It's that simple. I love them with my heart, and my family's taking part with them. So this is where they belong.
Yes, Miss Irene.
Somebody named Alice Walter is in the breakout room, in the waiting room. Do you know her, ma'am?
Yes, she is the OBI therapist, behavior therapist from Bluebonnet.
Okay. And there's somebody that says an iPhone. I don't know who that is. That makes me nervous. I never let people in if they just have it says iPhone. Are you expecting anybody else, ma'am?
It might be my nephew, Elio. I think he has an iPhone.
Okay, well, let him in now. I think my coordinator let him in. Or
Okay.
maybe
It's either him or my niece, one of the two. They work for the school system. So
okay. I think they're gone. I don't see them on here. I think
see them either.
Okay. Okay. Go. I'm sorry, Ms. Hyde. Continue,
No,
please.
of course, Your Honor. Miss Irene, you're speaking about both of these children. So evident how much you love them and how proud you are as well, correct?
oh yeah. I'm very proud of them. They just have, I've seen things in them that I knew were deep down inside, and now they're just budding out with all of this different of who they are, and they're enjoying finding themselves. It's very hard when you come into a situation and you're lost, and to find yourself and not be afraid and be accepting. Those are very, very hard things. And these children are demonstrating all of this. So I'm very, very proud of them. They ask for help. They're willing to work. And they're just great kids. They're special.
They are, and you have said it all so beautifully and so lovingly. And definitely, you sound like their mom, and you're asking Judge to legally make you Drayden's mom today. You'll still be Michaela's mom in every action, word, and deed.
Sure.
You know, and we're going to be doing hers later, but you're asking Judge today to make you legally Drayden's mom, correct?
Yeah, correct.
I think the judge has already heard enough about this to know your answer, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Judges worried about these kids and known about them a long time, and even though they both may be your kids, they're Judge's kids too. Are you promising her she never has to worry about Drayden again? When she grants the adoption, she can know he's where he needs to be with a mom that will love him and always continue to be there for him.
Yes, that is a promise.
Thank you. Your Honor, I pass this witness.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Wilson, Ms. Lang, any questions of Ms. Irene?
No,
questions for me, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Hyde, next witness.
Well, I am going to, as much as I would like to ask Drayden some questions, and I can only imagine, because he is so delightful what his answers may be, I will not take that pleasure and honor away from his ad litem. So I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Lang?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to call my client, if you please.
Okay, please.
Drayden. Now that I've got your name right, Drayden.
Yeah.
So Drayden, when I was with you last time, when I came to visit, you held up a sign, and do you remember what you'd written on that sign? And we took it, or you sent me a picture of it?
Adopt me now.
Like right now, don't wait, right? Because, we talked about waiting a little while, wait until Michaela's day or whatever, but you wanted it to happen today, right?
Yeah.
All righty. And now, can you promise Miss Irene, your legal mama now, that you're not going to be so picky about food like you were 2 years ago?
I'm already getting better. Hasn't she told you?
He is doing better.
All right. And so you're asking the court today to grant the adoption on your behalf. Is that right, Drayden?
Yes.
Okay. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have any questions of Drayden?
No questions, Judge.
No questions, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Lang, any more witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Drayden, what do you call Miss Irene?
I call her Miss Irene still.
You do? Okay. Yeah, we all call her Miss Irene. And I didn't even know how to really pronounce her last name till she said it. I would have messed that one up. So, okay, good. Thank you. And, okay, well, I'll just wait for a second. Okay, thank you. Let's see. Mr. Pell, anything else you'd like to add that's not question and answer, if you just want to give something in narrative?
The one thing that I did not mention, in addition to all the mothering that Miss Irene has been doing, clearly that also encompasses getting these kids, and Drayden in particular, to all the doctor appointments and the school meetings and things like that. I want to make sure that I note that she has doing that. She has, which is almost a full-time job in itself, but making sure that they're getting the medical and psychological assistance that they continue to need.
Okay, thank you. And Miss Irene, that's your plan, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Whatever they need, then I will be there for them.
Well, we have Big Brother in the background that I've heard a lot about over the years. And what do you think of, can he tell me what he thinks about this?
What do you think about this, Gabriel?
Hold on. When we put the clip at that area, maybe clip at that area. Should put his life through. When they after this Michaela.
What? She's laughing at him. Are you happy, Gabriel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had come up with place the clip at our area.
Okay.
The replace for la to the what to call it? Manner, not bad guy.
Oh,
Manner.
yeah. We've talked about possibly in the future moving to another area. But we'll y'all be nice. But we'll see what happens. But right now, he's very happy, and Caleb, my other son, is very happy. So they get along well. They get along very well, help each other out.
Good. Okay, we're fortunate we have lots of family here today on Zoom.
Caleb is here. She was
well. Yeah, I see Caleb. Yeah. So we have lots of family and some other supporters here today. Any of y'all want to say anything? And if you do, you got to tell us your name and tell us if your family, you've been a provider. Just let us know how you fit in if you want to say anything. Caleb, I think we've already heard about you, so I think you're kind of stuck. I think you're going to have to say something.
I have something to say.
Hold on, wait, let Caleb. Is he there?
You got to unmute. We can't hear you, sir.
All right. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hi, how are y'all?
Good.
Hey, right on. I mean, I'm all for having Michaela and Drayden as a part of our family. They're very nice kids, you know, they mean the best as far as like their intentions with everything. They're sweet kids. You know, they're just needing a chance in life. And, you know, I'm happy that my family was given the opportunity to be able to provide that for them. And, you know, it makes me really happy that we can all be a part of that and their growth as far as life goes. And so for me, that's really the most exciting thing, really. You know, I wasn't expecting to get, you know, new family in the future, but I couldn't be more happy about getting them, you know, as far as them being a part of our lives.
That's beautiful. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Any of the other family before I get back to our feature family today? Anybody else want to say anything?
I want to say something.
Okay, come on, Drayden. Tell me something.
No joke.
Does anyone want to hear a joke?
We can hear jokes. Tell me a short joke.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Dishes.
Dish who?
I said dishes.
Oh, dishes. Sorry. Dishes who?
This is a very bad joke.
You know what I thought you were going to tell me, Kate? Sorry, Drayden. You know what I thought you were going to say?
What?
This is a very good day.
That was good too.
I know. I just thought that out of the top of my head.
Thumbs up for you.
Thank you. Thumbs up for you too. That's cool. Yeah. I haven't done a knock joke in a long time. I'm surprised I still remember how to do them. I got to teach my grandkids those jokes. So good. Well, okay. Anybody else have anything they'd like to add for Drayden?
No, I don't have anything to add other than I'm happy.
Okay, good. Okay, I bet you're glad that at least people are at least out of your life a little bit. Michaela's still got to have us all around, but we're not going to be bothering you anymore, okay?
Okay.
Well, all the legal stuff I got to do, I'm going to find I do have jurisdiction over Drayden and over this case. I'm going to find that Drayden, tell me when your birthday is.
2008.
Right. And are you a United States citizen?
Yes.
Do you live in the state of Texas?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, good answers. Okay, thank you. Have you lived with Miss Irene more than 6 months?
Yeah.
Good answer there too. I'm going to find that your biological parents' parental rights have previously been terminated by this court, which makes you eligible for adoption. I'm going to,
Yes, I believe that is true. Correct.
It's true. I promise we've all been there. It's true. It's definitely true. I'm going to find that you have had a gazillion people come into y'all's house and ask you a gazillion plus dumb questions, and y'all have all passed all that with flying colors. Right, Drayden?
Yeah.
I'm going to find that Miss Schlab is currently your caseworker, and she works for the department. And Miss Schlab has in writing and verbally here today given her consent to the adoption. So that's good. I'm going to order that Miss Schlab, Mr. Pell, Miss Lang, they're all, like I said, they're all released from your case, okay? Everybody's going to stay on for Michaela, but they're all off your case, okay?
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to order that the records as to the adoption be sealed. And Drayden, tell me what, do you want to have a new name?
Yeah. Ramon.
Okay. And where'd you get that name? Where'd you get Ramon from?
Her. It's her family name. It's your maiden name, right? Yes.
Okay.
It's her maiden
Cool.
name.
Okay. Well, I'm going to change your name to Drayden. I like it. And last but not least, I'm going to grant the adoption. Congratulations.
Yay!
So thank you. Miss Hyde, I believe Eddie or somebody from your office has sent the decree. I don't remember seeing it on email, but I haven't looked at email in a couple of hours. So
I'll double check that, Your Honor, and make sure if it's not, yeah.
Okay. Miss Irene, the Miss Hyde will help you with the sealing and with the new birth certificates and all that. Be sure and get a couple of copies, more than a lot of copies of the order, because because they have to seal the file and it's hard to open and it'll take a while. The Bureau of Vital Statistics is my second most unfavorite bureaucracy. And paperwork got to come from there, and it's a cluster getting stuff from them, but you'll get it. Don't worry.
You'll get it.
All right. Thank you.
You'll get it. So, okay. Well, we're going to have Michaela's case next, and anybody wants to stay, y'all are welcome to stay. Everybody else, if you don't stay, we understand. It's late in the day, and y'all everybody here did a great job supporting the family, or whether your family or your Angel Heart or anybody else, and we greatly appreciate getting to where we're at finally today.
Thank you.
And I am going to have to go, but I did want to say, Judge, because I want Michaela to hear this, that we already have her file, even though it's a ways off, we have already started her file. So we will be ready to go when the time comes for that. So
good.
Yep.
Good. Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye. Congratulations.
Bye. Okay. Now, I don't know why we got to do this, because I know Michaela's doing well. Everything's good. Let me see what I wrote. What I wrote down basically is Michaela's going to stay in care until she turns 16. Is that right?
That's right, Judge.
Okay. And then that helps with future benefits and stuff. Is that correct?
Yes. My understanding, yes.
All that future benefit stuff is so dang confusing to me. So I'm glad. Hopefully, Miss Irene, hope you got it all in writing and you can understand it better than me, because it's a mess.
Yes, ma'am.
So, okay. Michaela, you doing well?
Yeah.
You good with hanging out for a little bit longer?
Yeah.
Okay. Even though Drayden got adopted today, you're cool?
Yeah.
Okay. Miss Irene, anything you want to say about Michaela?
No, I think she's blossoming. She's becoming a very unique young lady. And she's starting to feel emotions now, which she had kept hidden. She's had experienced 4 emotions, which is a wonderful thing, because when you have somebody that just totally doesn't feel anything, to have a breakthrough like that is really wonderful. We're going to be talking with Becca, the lady from Bluebonnet Trails, about starting her medications again for school, for focusing her ADHD. Now that we have a baseline for her feelings and her emotions, and we know that they do exist, they're just kind of hiding. So that's why we took her off the medication, was to get that baseline. We have it now, and therefore we can proceed forward. And I'm working on getting her some equine therapy, which,
Oh, good.
yeah, which
Good.
she likes horses, and Jaden, they like animals. So I'm working on trying to get her some equine therapy that will probably bring those emotional things even a little bit more quickly. And but yeah, we have plans for all the other things that we need to do in regards to getting her where she needs to be at.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Mr. Pell, anything you need to add as to Kayla?
No, Your Honor, I think Irene's covered that. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Schlapp, you good?
I'm good on this end. I'm just waiting for her SSI to kick in, but my understanding it's a year to 18 months to wait for the SSI application, and that was put in October. So we're getting close to the year mark. Hopefully, we'll hear something soon.
Okay, all that. They might be one of my other unfavored agencies, but I'm not gonna. I'm still got Attorney General's Office vital statistics. I'm not gonna have a number 3 list right quite yet, but that's okay. So there you go. Okay, Angel Heart, y'all need to say anything? Y'all need anything? Y'all still on?
No. Yes, we are. We're good. Mayor Powell's doing great with all of the licensing requirements, and now you're down to 1 set of logs for every month and paperwork. So hopefully that will be a little bit easier, but she's been wonderful.
Okay, good. Ms. Lang?
Judge, I see Alice Walter on, and I think she's one of our providers maybe for the kiddos. And while we got her, we've not had anybody with us at a hearing, and I'm just curious to see if she wants to offer any information for us, an update.
You're muted, ma'am.
Sorry. Yes, I've been working with Michaela pretty much over the summer and Drayden for a little while. Just started with him. Michaela is a great young lady. She really is. She's making friends. I've visited her at school a couple of times. She seems to be getting well adjusted. I'm working with her on her social skills and just trying blending how you feel within and your emotions and being able to recognize that and express it. And so it's really been it's good.
I love that. Who do you work with?
Bluebonnet Trails. I'm sorry.
That's okay. And what is your title there?
I am an OBI. So OBI stands for it's outpatient behavioral health services for persons with intellectual disabilities. And I'm a collaborative case manager. So I provide case management, like I'll go to their clinic appointments with Becca, and then also meet with them and provide case management, linking to resources and also skills training for them.
And you'll stay with Michaela indefinitely?
No, ma'am. Our program lasts a year.
Oh.
So
and what?
Probably through this school year.
And then is there like another continuum of care that's offered, or?
So for her, she also has an IDD service coordinator with Bluebonnet Trails. That position currently, I think, is vacant, but Mandy Brown is the team lead, and she saw Michaela this month and Drayden. And then right now, the mental health case manager that's seeing them is also the supervisor. Her name is Audrina Esser.
Okay.
With Bluebonnet, and they will also follow. So the support that I'm providing is in addition to kind of give them a jump start, and then they'll continue to be monitored by the regular service coordinator and case manager from behavioral health.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And Judge, I didn't know if you we had shared all the excitement with Hayden Drayden. I love that new name. I'm gonna like mess with him all the time now. Caleb actually spends a lot of time with these kiddos. He'll take them over to his place and take them out for outings and things like that. So he really is a big brother. And there's still some other family members here. Just an amazing group of folks who circle around these children. Judges wanted to make sure we really emphasize that. Hands-on, lots of hands-on.
And sometimes Miss Irene just needs a break, and that's a good thing too. The kids need a break, and that's good. So we appreciate everybody being on. Well, okay, I'm over here looking at my calendar. I'm gonna say everything continue, and Miss McKaylee, we're gonna just lay low and not hear anything else until our next hearing on December 11th. Okay. Oh, Mr. Wilson, I'm sorry, I forgot. Do you need anything?
No, we don't, Judge. You were exactly right. Early on, we're just running out the clock, really. So everything's fine as far as I know.
Okay, good. Okay, well, Drayden, like I said in our not joke, you have the best day, okay? Help Miss Irene with dinner or hit her up for dinner or whatever. Hit Caleb. Let Caleb hit up Caleb or something. But I know y'all will celebrate in a real fun way, and just wish everybody the best of luck, and we'll see some of y'all soon. Thank you.
Alrighty. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day, everyone.
You too. We're
Bye-bye.
still working.
Still have as best of a day as you can.
I know, I will. Thank you.
Oh, FYI, Judge, I had two people say they tried to log on, but the Wi-Fi issues. It was Andrea, from CASA, and the kinship worker, Tiffany Jordan.
Huh. Yeah.
They couldn't get them.
Yeah. Every day with Zoom, you never know what's going on.
All right.
They're not there, but that's okay. Somebody named Connie's here, but she might be on the next.
Yeah, she was actually for me. Also, it's okay.
When I think the last time I looked was like at 4:19, and I didn't see anybody. So
okay.
But you know what? If y'all want the video, we can send it. Sorry, my dog.
Is he a good boy?
I know.
Is he a good boy, dog?
That's okay.
Miss Irene, if you want a copy of the video, just let my coordinator, Becky, Denise, somebody know.
Yeah, Drayden says yes, he wants a copy, so.
Okay.
That way we have a memory, we have a memento of this joyous moment.
And your funny jokes too, our good jokes.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, tell somebody send us an email so we can because we don't just normally give stuff out. So we have, documentation that it's okay with you to release it. Okay.
Okay, we'll do. Thank you.
Okay. Thank y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Okay. So where are we at now, y'all?
There we go.
So I saw an email from Joanne that she's had a crazy day. And so I told Deanne to send out the signatures, and I got everyone's signatures, but the CPS workers, because for some reason my program won't work with their system. It doesn't let it go through. Some CPS it works and some it doesn't. So I don't understand, but theirs, it didn't work on the Rule 11. So I didn't even send it to them. I just emailed you that order, which has everyone's signature, but then I think Joanne also, like right after that, had her assistant go ahead and send out the order to everyone. So I signed that one too. I don't know if everyone signed it or not. I didn't tell the maternal grandma to be on here because she did sign my order. It's the same exact order.
Okay, let's see.
And last minute, I noticed some missing names on the signature block. So I redid it and sent it out for signature too. So that's in circulation as well. But with the duplicates, I'm not sure if they're
Yeah, I just told Deanne to add a box for Melissa to sign, even though she didn't have an actual like line with her name. So, but it went out to her. Hey, I didn't do the order, girly.
And Joanne, if you sent an email out, I did not get anything from you. I only got the one from Natalie.
I think Joanne's maybe the system where it goes to one person at a time. I'm not sure. Sometimes those take a lot longer. I don't know. Mine, it goes to everyone at once.
Okay, so do y'all want me to sign? I can see the one that Natalie's talking about that the caseworker didn't sign, but they're not even here, I don't think.
And they already signed the Rule 11.
Okay.
And they testified that they agreed at our hearing.
You want me to sign the one you sent to me at 4:13?
That's fine with me. I mean, they're identical except for Joanne's is prettier because it has this actual signature line written out for Melissa.
Well, I have Melissa. That one at 4:13 has Melissa's signature.
I know we added her signature. It just didn't have like a line with her name typed. Not to me.
I initially just put one DPS line, and then when I got the email, because I didn't have the emails for everybody, Natalie sent me emails. So then I added Melissa because that's what I was about to send it out and realized I didn't have Melissa. So I went back, and then I also broke down for the caseworker and the supervisor as well to be included.
I mean, I'm fine if you sign the one that I did. I think
Melissa are the out there. Melissa McClure, just randomly signing her name. Yeah.
I think the parents and the grandma are the ones that really need to sign. So
yeah. Well, yeah, and if I remember when I sign it, I'll add attorney ad litem for the children. But Oh, no, you're not even attorney ad litem to the children. You're attorney to the deal.
Yeah, I'm the kid. I'm the child. I'm Eric's attorney. I'm the child's attorney.
You didn't sign it, did you? Oh,
Yes.
yeah, you did. Okay. But it just says ad litem. Okay, Miss Sam again. Do I have Joanne's signature?
Yes. She
Yeah.
signed it before she sent it to me to send out.
Oh, approved as to form. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, we'll figure it out. So, okay.
Anyway, there's your order.
Y'all agree with this order, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Y'all know what it says. You understand it, everything else, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank y'all for coming to agreement. And I think it is in the best interest of little Eric Deal Jr. And when my coordinator prints it out for me, I'll approve it. And we wish y'all and Eric and the grandma the best of luck. And everybody will be released from further representation. And this case will be closed.
Thank you.
Okie doke. Thanks, y'all. Thanks for coming.
Judge.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.